Welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day, man. God bless you guys. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a fantastic morning today. It's a little chilly outside where I'm from, but that's okay. It makes us grow some chest hair anyway. Welcome in, Skippy. Yeah, Red Bull does that to you, man. I feel the same way about Monster sometimes, homie. I don't really drink energy drinks too much anymore. Sometimes I mostly drink energy drinks when I'm going out of town. Like if we're going on a car ride, we're going out of town, homie. So I'm going to definitely drink some energy drinks then. Sorry, guys. Make my camera a little bit clearer. There we go. How's everybody doing today, man? God bless you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button right off rip. It looks like today's a little bit better than yesterday when it comes to us getting in the algorithm right away. Make sure you guys show some love and support, man. Show some love and support by hitting that subscribe button. Join the motherfucking family, bro. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. And we are running it up. My daughter finally got her glasses yesterday. She looks gorgeous, just like me now. She's so pretty. Should we see a picture of her, what she looks like? My oldest daughter had her Christmas concert last night. Here's what my daughter looks like with her glasses on. So beautiful. Gosh, I'm such a proud daddy, man. I just love though how, when I was fighting for custody of them, they weren't getting the best care taken of them from the other side. So now that they're with me, I'm glad that things are better and she gets everything she needs. Her and her sister, man. It's such a good thing, man. And I couldn't be any more blessed and grateful to be in a position to be able to do that stuff, man. But how you guys doing today, man? Making a steak right away this morning for me to eat, bro. I'm starving. I'm trying to get to the gym today. Trying to recover from that injection I got in my spine. You know? But we're doing good. We're doing fantabulous. I must say, we're doing fantabulous. How's this lighting? Is this better? I'm trying to get it so it's a bit better here. Hold on. Is this better? Can you? There's a light side or a light side and a dark side. All right, guys. Good morning, Pumpkin. See, everybody's getting in here this morning. Way better than it was yesterday. Yesterday, I was wondering why the fuck within the first hour we only had one person in here, two people in here. Because usually we be running it up right when we get on here because we're one of the most fastest growing positive communities on this bit. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, double tap that screen, show some love and support. But like I said, man, I love the fact that my daughter got her glasses, man. She loves them too. She looks really good in them. Here, Pumpkin. I just showed the stream what she looks like with her glasses on, but I gotta show you. Here, let me show a different picture. Wait, I'll show this one first. Here's the first one. I didn't think they were gonna come as fast as they did yesterday. And then here's the other one. Look how gorgeous she is, just in daycare right now with her glasses. I just love her so much. Yeah, man, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic, blessed day, man. We're gonna go over the Candace stream from yesterday. I caught the tail end of it, and I was just gonna go over a clip of it today, but I ended up not even being able to pay attention to it because I had my daughter's Christmas concert last night and stuff like that. So we're just gonna go over it and figure stuff out, man. It's the holidays. I hope everybody's having a good time leading up to the holidays. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the first hour. Actually, we've hit 200 likes within the first hour before. I feel like today is gonna be one of those days. Let's try and do that. No, I'll be realistic. Let's do 100. 100 likes within the first hour, man. Everybody double tap that screen. Show some love and support, man. I know, isn't she just gorgeous? She is just the most gorgeous kid ever. I am blessed to have the most gorgeous child ever. All right, we're gonna go over this stream in 1 second. The concert was awesome. We left right after my daughter's part though because I wasn't trying to stay there for forever because once my daughters are up later, it's hard to get them up in the morning. We get up around 6:37. So yeah, but I'll be right back. Then we're gonna go over this stream. Ooh yeah, guys, look at this steak. Look at this steak. Gotta keep myself strong for when I go to the gym. All right, give me 1 second. All right. I gotta keep myself strong for when I go to the gym, you know. But yeah, concert went good. Fam came with, so we was all just watching her sing and got some pictures. But we ended up leaving after her part because it was like, I didn't want to stay. I wanted to support some of the other kids, but I wanted to get my kid to bed right away, man. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get her to bed. I made my steak just a nice, simple, regular way. Some salt and pepper on it. You know, I'm so used to eating my steaks with garlic powder and all that, which is good. Garlic powder, onion powder on it. But man, going back to the basics, some salt and pepper right off rip. Delicious, man. But we're trying to get our health stuff go. Oh yeah, my W energy stuff came too. Hold on, let me go get that. All right. All right, I know I got some gym bros in here and gym sisters. So let me start this off right. I was skeptical on how the mixer bottle was going to be. The only thing that I don't like about it is it doesn't have like one of those things on the back. You can carry it with your finger whip. But before we get into this stream, if you guys love going to the gym and you're a gym bro or a gym sister, head on over to W Energy or www.w.gg and get yourself some W Energy products, man. They got some jitter free pre workouts. They also are doing a Chainsaw Man anime collab with the Blood Orange. Use code in all caps now, code See Me Now, for 10% off. Now, I'm going to be trying my lemon, just Japanese Yazoo. I'm going to be trying this before I go to the gym today. But just in case, because it is jitter free, I always use the other stuff that's stronger, so I don't know if it's going to work that good for me. Everybody reacts to stuff differently, all right? But I also have Beach and Peach and Dragonade. These are two samplers. But the one thing I'll say, if you don't like the pre-workout, you're going to love the bottles, okay? Nice, sleek design. But let me tell you something. When I get a shaker bottle, I consistently lose the metal shaker part, right? They, which surprised me, have this in here. It's like a little plastic part that you take out, wash, right? You put your water in here with your supplement. You put the top in here. You just close it, right? And you shake it up, and that's your mixer right up in here. So no more having to worry about losing the fucking metal sphere thing. You can just go ahead and use this plastic piece up here. Such a good innovative idea. I don't think I've seen this in a shaker bottle yet, but I could just be living under a rock. But this is the first I've ever seen it, and I really like it. So if you guys are gym bros like me or gym sisters, and you go to the gym, go to wenergy.com or www.w.gg and get yourself some pre-workout and try out their shaker bottles, man. Really nice shaker bottle, really good quality. Um, I'm really impressed with the shaker bottle. For the a pre-workout, not sure. I always use the the powerful shit. So I'm not sure about the pre-workout how it's gonna work for me. Okay, W. I know I'm supposed to give good reviews, but I'm honest with my people. So you might fuck with the pre-workout, you might not. But the shaker bottles, you guys definitely will like. They got some awesome shaker bottles, and I just love the design. I love the innovative idea of having that in the top like this. Um, and then they also got like water bottles like this. I don't know if anyone's in the anime or anything like this, but they got some pretty cool water bottles as well. I think the Chainsaw Man collab is pretty cool. This is pretty dope. Um, let alone like I like this one too. I'm probably gonna try this one next, this slime one. And this one has the same thing in it as well when it comes to the plastic shaker on the top. They even got this cool liter water bottle as well. So like I said, man, if you guys want to get a dope water bottle, you want to support your boy, and you want some new gym attire and gear, go to www.w.gg and get yourself something with code all caps see me now for 10% off. And yeah, like I said, man, I think this is pretty cool. It's very innovative to have this plastic thing in here. I really like it. Easy to take out and easy to rinse off. You just put it back in after you rinse it out, and then put this on and keep it nice and clean. Really awesome, and I'm very impressed with the shaker bottles. That's how I feel with my shaker bottles, bro. But this one's like different. I mean, this one won't get gross. You just go ahead and rinse it out, and pretty easy. So I really like it, and I know you guys will too. I tried some of the pre-workout last night, and it wasn't too bad. But I like the feeling of when I get like the sensations behind my ears and shit when I'm working out. It feels like it makes me do better. But if you guys are sensitive to pre-workouts, I really strongly recommend you try the W Energy. Yeah, but that's as you guys know, that's a official See Me Now partner. So go to www.w.gg with code See Me Now, all caps, no spaces, for 10% off. So show some love and support, man, and go to W Energy. Get yourself a dope shaker bottle. I really like that shaker bottle. But anyway, so let's get into the topic of today. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000 subs, man. We're almost there. We're almost 900 away. So hit that subscribe button with notification bell. Double tap that screen. Get those likes up. Show some love and support. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the hour. As you guys know, Erika, Kirk, and Candace Owens met up for a private conversation. We went over what Candace Owens posted yesterday before she went live, which was her saying, "I'm alive, I'm back, and it was a productive conversation." I caught some of the tail end of it, so I don't know if she's compromised or not. I caught some tail end of her live yesterday. I'll tell you this, though. Some of what I was hearing I was not liking from her, so we'll figure it out. We're going to go through it today. And so if you haven't watched the stream, which I'm sure some of you did, she got 3 million views, over 3 million views, almost 4 on it yesterday. So, yeah. But if you guys want to get your name on the donor wall behind me, help support your boy through the holiday season by super chatting. Get your name written on the super chat wall. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this year, but next year when our channels, because after next year, at some point we're gonna be at 100K subs. We're gonna get there quick. Even regardless of what we're at, though, I want to run a program where I either have my Cash App up or I have something else up where you guys can donate, and then in my town I want to give back. So I want to buy like turkeys or hams for people for Christmas, and I was thinking about putting my Cash App on here. You guys like keep the fact that you sent me the money so we can all keep track of how much was there, so you guys know I'm not fooling around with the numbers. And then I want to do like a vlog or some sort of way to do the content where I show me buying all the stuff and bringing it and handing it out, whether it's bringing it to a food pantry or handing it out to people in need, or just going to Walmart and buying people's groceries outright. I really want to do something good for the community at some point, but I just don't think we're going to get to do it this Christmas. So for next holiday season, wherever it is, um, we're going to definitely help out the community. So, or like, once we hit a certain amount of subs and I do a giveaway, maybe I'll help someone out in this community too that can use something. But we all work together. We're all a family, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this and see what she has to say. I didn't watch the beginning of it. I probably caught it about over halfway through it, and then I had to, you know, go to my daughter's Christmas concert. So yeah. And if you guys are helping me do it, Critical, I'm obviously gonna post it. Like if I do a fundraiser and I do a live stream for 12 hours and we raise money together, I'm obviously gonna post the outcome of us doing that, which is helping the community, and post receipts so no one can be like, you kept some of the money and blah 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 blah. No, I'm not like that. I give my last dollars to people, and I love doing that. And I feel like in my community, I just want to help out, and the bigger we get and the more good we do, I want to spread it on to people because that's what the good Lord would want me to do, and that's what's good to do. So, God bless you guys, man, and yeah, let's get into this, man.
Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And, this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler. And TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace. All. Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erika said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this, okay? Nobody is changing their mind anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erika Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules. They said you can ask us any question that you want, anything that's on your mind, which I appreciated. And some of you guys are thinking, who is they? Who is they? It's the Jews, obviously. Just kidding. It's Justin Strife. Justin Strife was in the room. It was just Justin Strife and Erika. George joined me just for the beginning portion of the conversation because he had that thing going on that I told you on the 15th all day. He was in a conference. And then I brought my cousin Mia, the one that has a really bad attitude. I just bring her there for vibes. I think it just confuses people. They're like, I don't understand what's this person doing here. And the reality is she's like always just listening to Cardi B music. But wow, she's my cousin and I always have her around. And so that was it. She was kind of sitting a little bit away, but at the table, it was really just the four of us until George left. And I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erika's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with
I'm glad
Justin
you mentioned
Strife
that. Could have been poison.
Very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear and Erika was very clear that they were sort of most upset with what I obviously a bit of a fever pitch. What I tweeted that it was a godforsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know. I felt like,
Dude, but it's true. Like, why would you look at how much money they made and they still can't be transparent, not even a little bit? Like, I think saying that was a little bit going light, right?
we weren't getting any
I mean, I haven't even got my fucking hat yet, and I donated as soon as Charlie passed away. So,
answers, and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you,
guys, make sure you double tap that screen. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so make sure you hit the subscribe button as well with the notification bell. But double tap that screen, guys. We got 36 minutes left. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the hour, man.
definitely my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually when I mentioned the Catholicism thing. Like, what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly aimed at me. And they've teased the interview. It's like aimed at me, but they never say my name. And that to me felt like it was the first, I don't know, the first bit of mud that was slung, which their answer for that was, hey, that was a really crazy time. A new system had to be put into place. And by no means did Erika give any person the authority to go out and say that the Catholicism thing was a lie. It kind of turned into this big thing. Whatever. Okay, that kind of obviously was not the meat of the reason that we wanted to sit down. I will say I was immediately refreshed by the fact that one of the first things that Erika did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications that were coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional and they are communicating. And no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, Erika sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was Erika saying that she had Charlie's phone and that Charlie never texted anybody the night before saying that he thought that they were going to kill him. And that obviously reflected poorly on me because I was the one who said that he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said, Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person. I didn't get that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. And then somebody who had access to Dan Flood's communications said that Dan Flood similarly received a text message. They owned that right away and explained. Erika said that she has Charlie's phone. She's looking at his iMessages. And it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram. And that those when she heard me say that, they then went and looked. And yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now, they asked me if I had actually like a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before. And I said, no. If somebody told me what it said, which was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they were, that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to fill my bottle real quick. All right, my bad, guys. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the first hour. I'm gonna put the Dragonade W Energy packet in here, and we'll see how it works out. And I'll do like a live review. But let's go.
Told that it said they. Now, obviously, we discussed the moment, and I'm laughing here because you TikTokers are actually out of control. You guys are going to be the reason that Israel gets TikTok because you guys are acting a fool all the time. And the videos were so hilarious of you guys mocking the Barry Weiss interview. It's great. It's good to laugh at ourselves. And Barry Weiss is always worth laughing at. But I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erika say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. She's trying to right perceived wrongs because I'm against her side. That does not surprise me. That's kind of why Barry Weiss exists. That's the reason they put her at CBS, is because she's just committed to stacking the audience with people that are going to present the pro-Israel cause and talk about anti-Semitism and talk about like crime being on the rise. It's kind of an embarrassment, but I actually do accept that. And I should also clarify that Barry Weiss obviously picked those questions. They were not random, like I told you. It wasn't like people were coming to the mic and it was an open mic and they didn't know what they were going to get. It was all very much planned by Barry, but Erika said that she knew the general idea. Like,
you never told us that was I'm already not liking it. We were told that it was pre-known questions that took many takes to do. They recorded for 4 hours. That's what we were told.
They were going to mention me and mention the conspiracies, but she was not given that specific, the podcaster, Candace Owens, question. So I think that's fair to clear that up. Now, I did not at all recant any of my suspicions, and I understand people disagree with me about particular people at Turning Point USA. I communicated what I communicated in front of the whole world. My skin crawled after I spoke to Terrell Farnsworth, the person who took the cameras down. He lied to me several times.
Bake biz quick, then get off my channel. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll do whatever I want. Here, I'll send you to the abyss myself.
It felt good to have that direct communication, how Terrell lied multiple times, and that I did not understand why he was there that day. They echoed what he said. They defended what he said, that they were trying something new that day, that they typically live stream, which is what Terrell said. They typically live stream, and I said every college event. Well, they said, well, yeah, they live stream the events that are tour stops, but they don't live stream like the outside prove me wrong type events. And that was something that was new, and it required Terrell. And I said, even if that was all real, if that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I personally do not trust him. And I obviously do not like the fact that I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter, because the police wanted him to take it down and secure the footage. And I said, I know that's not true. And they said, well, after all of that, after he took the cameras down, there was a police officer or Fed, whoever it was, that spoke to him and asked him to secure the footage. Well, that makes sense, but it's not a reason for why he took it down immediately. It makes sense that as you're investigating, you're going to say, who's got the footage? Let's lock it down. But it didn't make sense to me that Tyler Boyer lied about it. And I don't trust Tyler Boyer. And that is never going to change. Similarly with Rob McCoy. He makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it. I look at him and he's a bad person, and nobody can make me feel one way or the other about that. I was surprised to learn, and this kind of gets into, I guess, us not knowing the inner workings at Turning Point USA, that Rob McCoy actually does not work with Turning Point USA in any capacity whatsoever. And so him communicating as he has done, like, I'm the pastor, I'm this, I'm that, it's just not real. Like, that is not real. And we should know that that's not real. And when he says that, call him out on that separately. from Turning Point USA. I was operating under the assumption that he worked for Turning Point USA. And I said, if obviously that's wrong, I'm happy to correct that. But also, what were we to assume when he hit the stage at the memorial and said, I'm America's pastor, and then had the Wikipedia updated and said, well, I'm assuming he had it updated because who else would do that he started Turning Point USA Faith. So I guess, to be clear, we were just wrong about that. And I will have a lot more to say about Rob McCoy and where I believe he fits into a lot of things. So I'm not letting up on that. Now, one piece of this where I still don't understand it, and the magic bullet. Okay. Now, we all recall what happened. I casually say on the show, hey, I saw the footage. There was no blood. And honestly, when I said it, I didn't process how big of a deal that was with the 30-06. Very quickly, what happens is Andrew Colvett whips up this tweet about what happened with the bullet, and he said he wanted to address all of the discussion that was being had about the online chatter. I'm obviously paraphrasing here. He says, I apologize. It's going to get graphic, but he spoke with the surgeon. The bullet should have gone through. The surgeon then explained that what he's typically seen on these wounds, and basically this was all a miracle. Charlie saved lives, even in death. And the internet clocked it, this miracle, the healthy bone. His bone was so healthy, and the density was so impressive. Like, this is a quote, by the way. His bone was so healthy. I want to read it. This is allegedly from a surgeon. Quote, his bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. And we were just like, eeh. That kind of was like the beginning of the WTF, right? I feel like that was kind of the beginning of it.
Welcome in, Samantha.
And immediately people in the comments responded to Andrew, and he said, this individual said, this post is so fake as it would violate.
Hey, man, come on, guys. Double tap that screen. We just need 85 more beautiful people. Double tap that screen. We'll be at 100 likes. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the hour. We got 25 more minutes. God bless.
HIPAA. Like, there's patient privacy. You can't just call up the surgeon. And then Andrew Collette replies and says, rest assured, I would not have posted without full permission. Now, he said he spoke to the surgeon, and they confirmed that Andrew spoke to the surgeon, but that they did not know that he was going to write that tweet. They did not know that he called up the surgeon. So, like, it very much came.
So what it sounds like is Andrew Colvett likes to jump the gun, is what she's saying. And maybe what Erika Kirk's saying, because she said she didn't know that Andrew Colvett even said that Charlie texted him that night or the night before. So it sounds like Andrew Colvett has main character syndrome.
Across to be like Andrew was just flying by the seat of his pants. I don't know. Like, he was just flying dark on me. And I was like, that seems very strange to me, because why would a surgeon do that? Like, the first thing the surgeon should say is, I can't speak to you. I don't even know, in theory, Andrew wasn't even there when Charlie died. I don't even know why the surgeon even knows this guy, actually. Maybe he hung around after, but, Andrew.
But my whole question has been this the whole time. Why was there even a surgeon? Why? If he was dead on arrival, they're not going to take him to an OR. It's just not going to happen. So there's just conflicting stuff the whole time. People say that he was dead before he even hit the ground. He was obviously dead before he went to the hospital. Why is there even a surgeon involved?
Was not one of the people that got into the hospital or anything like that. So this is quite literally the PR guy who's calling the surgeon. And so that just seems very inappropriate for a person to do, period. And I would say it was kind of the beginning, but that was what I got from that. Now, obviously, we discussed the security. I brought up Brian Harpole, this interview with Sean Ryan, and I think we can believe Turning Point when they say that they did not approve of this. They had no idea he was going on Sean Ryan. I think that's pretty clear. I don't believe he works there anymore. So that was kind of him, just getting out there and perhaps trying to.
Yeah, okay. If they have gag orders on everybody else, you really think that they didn't know about the head of their security that they pay millions of dollars a year was going to go on Sean Ryan? Doesn't make sense.
to rescue his own reputation. And I think that only made his reputation worse, actually, because people rightfully sensed that he wasn't telling the truth in that interview, that he was being cagey, that he was saying things that didn't make any sense. Again, you constantly have these people that believe, like Brian Harple, that with enough performance, he can sit down and you're just going to convince people that this is real. And this is just a different time. Like I said, these TikTokers are out of control. They will check you in 4 seconds. Okay. Things that the biggest piece of this that I want to communicate, and that I did communicate to them, and I hope that they took me seriously on this, or rather that they take my strong advice on this. I said one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here.
Morning, Rachel.
And feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. Like, that more will come out, but you can take it from me that this is what happened. I was looking to achieve that because there's been a lot of signaling from various people, some people who are experts, some people who have been involved in cases, that there's obviously going to be stuff that the public does not have access to. And so it is at least plausible that they have seen very clear footage that we've been asking for of Tyler Robinson getting up there and taking the shot. Like, they have access to UVU camera. So I was hoping to hear that. And I said that I want to hear why people feel.
Dude, Liz, you just sound like you have main character syndrome. Bro, like, seriously. I address everybody, but I'm also not going to just address your chat the whole time. I'm trying to react to this video. If you got a problem with me not addressing you, then go to another channel. Everyone here that is a part of my family or a part of the channel knows that I try my best to address the chat and show love and support, but I also try my best to shut the hell up and watch the video so I can give a good feedback. Like, seriously, just chill out, please. Calm down.
Feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, like, you know, their lawyer, who is involved in this case, one of the lawyers that's involved in this case. There's always a team of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, you know, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not gonna, if you say we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing like but the affidavit. Okay, so what we have seen is what they have. What is being discussed publicly, you are this whole like non-expert problem with like, well, you don't know. It's like what you read, his messages that don't have any dates on it, Tyler Robinson writing out everything and the clean alibi. That's what they have. And what he explained to me was that that's the affidavit stage. That's where it's at. And then what takes place now is the investigation is ongoing, right? So right now they're looking for more information. And once investigators, they could very well have obviously footage, and that is why they might feel that, oh, we're definitely gonna get this prosecution. But the reality is they don't actually share that information with the victim. They don't share that information with Erika. They don't, in this part of the process, they will not know what investigators have discovered. This is what the lawyer told me until May. Okay. They have not seen anything that you have not seen, is what I want you to know. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling? Why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest. And I offered that a more honest way to communicate would be to say, we think he's involved. We feel strongly, I've said that, I think he's involved. We are very hopeful that throughout this investigation, we are going to get that concrete thing. And that's where we're at right now. That's just the stage that we are at. That is not what we are getting from them. that is like, I just feel like that's really important to let you guys know. Let the gaslighting stop. They have what you have. Okay. There is nothing else. They are in an investigative stage. Erika has been named as the victim. They will know more in this May hearing, which is the probable cause hearing. That's what the lawyer told me. It's probable cause hearing. And that's when they will see the evidence. That's when they get to present the evidence, why they are going to stand there before a judge and be like, yes, we need to move this forward. It's not just an affidavit. We're not pulling together scraps. We have concrete evidence. Until then, okay, until we all get on the same page and understand what else they have, I am very confident stating the opposite of all of my, I guess, well-paid peers, in that I don't believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. And what I also said to them was, and I said this in front of the lawyer, because I don't know why I'm like this. I was like, you might need a new lawyer. I was like, because this person's trying to sell to you that this is solid. One of the rules that me and my husband have is that if you have a lawyer that tells you like you're 100% going to win, it's very clear that you're going to win, you need a new lawyer. Okay, that's a cheerleader. That's not a lawyer. A lawyer, even if you should 100% win, should be telling you the risks here. You know, I feel good about this case. Like, let me talk real to you. I feel good about this case, but here's where things could go wrong. I want you to understand those risks that are involved. We don't have this yet. We don't have that yet. And especially given what I told them, which is I'm the only, your lawyers, or the investigators rather, not their lawyers, because they're not the ones investigating. It's the state of Utah that's investigating. They have not called the one solitary person, as I told you guys, who filmed as he was on the roof. Remember the guy that's like, oh, there's somebody on the roof, and he sees him crouched down. I said, I spoke to that person, and his testimony would be devastating to your prosecution. He saw the person on the roof. He filmed the person on the roof at 12:23 p.m. and he did not see that person take the shot. And this is not some random student. This is a guy who trains people to shoot guns at a range. He knows guns, okay? He said what he saw was a smaller gun. He said that this person was dressed in black tactical gear and there was no recoil. That's devastating to
see, and I still just find it hard to believe.
In black tactical gear and there was no recoil.
The fact that this guy was sitting right here and this guy noticed is just crazy to me. I mean, if this guy noticed, there had to have been other people that noticed. And the fact that he was just up there and there was like thousands of people around and this happened is just wild to me.
It's devastating. That would be devastating to the prosecution. And yet investigators haven't reached out. Now they offered back, well, maybe they haven't reached out because they have an even clearer video and that's true. That's actually a good rebuttal. They're like, we don't even have to talk to this guy because the video will speak for itself. And we saw what we saw. Okay, but wouldn't you still want to speak to the other guys?
14 minutes, guys. 43 more double taps. We'll be at 100 likes within the hour. Thank you guys so much.
You could prepare, I don't know, to question him something. I don't like that this investigation is going on, and I feel as though I spoke to more people than they have. Both of the people who filmed videos that day told me that they weren't reached out to. So I don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand the confidence, I guess, is the best way to say this. I told them I do not understand the confidence that is happening. Now,
well, because if the government wants to make Tyler Robinson the person that did it, they're going to do it. That's why. There's people who are locked up that didn't do things all the time. Not saying he didn't do it. It's alleged. We need full concrete proof before I say that. But, like, seriously. Like, shit can be corrupt.
Really big thing that happened was they brought me Mikey's call logs, okay? They brought me Mikey's call logs, and that is why I said...
Now, this part's sketchy. When she showed it last night, I was like, dude, like, how do you expect us to take this as real? Like...
This was a productive meeting. There is no other way to say it. I asked every question, and they came with paperwork to show and to answer and to explain certain things. Also, which was, I thought, actually kind of sweet, that I guess I did on the previous show. I was like kind of looking at things into Mikey, and I couldn't find him. And someone said, I think Mikey's not his like real name. Like they thought it was his middle name, actually. And I just assumed, okay, well, maybe he's using his middle name, and that's why I can't find him. But Mikey really wants you guys to know that is his real name. And it is his real name. I found out shortly thereafter that they were confusing his middle name with, they thought it was switched. That Michael is his real name, just to clarify that, because I realized I actually didn't go back and clarify that. But Mikey's call logs, big piece of this, okay? I'm going to, I guess, jog your memory on what Blake said about Mikey that day, and then I'll tell you what actually happened because I don't think Blake has that great of a memory. Okay, take a listen.
So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left. And then we get out, and I run for, can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realize there hasn't been another shot, so the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And I see Mikey there. And truthfully, I will never forget what I saw because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years. I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, then he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erika. And then he takes his phone, and he begins calling Erika. And I don't want to disclose how that call unfolded, but he did that. Your mind extends all of this, but that is happening within a minute of all of this occurring. I remember he calls Erika. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see it on the news. I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call. And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately called.
Do I think she's hiding things herself? I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I just, you can never trust the fact that her and Erica met, like, off camera personally, and they talked for 4.5 hours. And, she said she's going to explain more today, but you just never know. At this point, I feel like it's all theater, and we just got to kind of discern the truth from falsehood,
Calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy, and he says, Dad, someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray right now. And that's what he told him.
Okay, so that's just not right. And so when he says, I might be imagining this, I'll never forget, followed by, I might be imagining this, probably means that maybe you forgot and like you really could be imagining. Now, for me personally, I think the normal physiological response in these high adrenaline situations for most people is you lock in. They're literally your body, when it goes through something, when it's terrified and is going through this sort of like, you are really paying attention to details. We've learned about this many times over in health class growing up. This is why they talk about that fight or flight response, and quite literally there's stuff happening to your body. And so there's a lot of details here that are just not accurate. And the one that surprised me the most about these call logs is I certainly feel that we were given the impression over and over and over.
10 minutes left within the hour, guys. 39 more double taps. Just double tap your screens, get to 100 likes. Love y'all.
Again, that the first person Mikey called was Erika, right? He called Erika. We were told this by many people. Also that he trained, like he almost like went to a camp and trained, and Charlie was like, 1, 2, 3, go, and like fast, 1, 2, 3, go. That's why he walked away. 1, 2, 3, go, and just told him this is what the first thing you do is. Well, he didn't do that. Actually, the first person he called was his wife. He called Elizabeth McCoy, and then he stayed on the phone with his wife for 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, he three-wayed Erika 3 minutes after the shot went off. And then he three-ways his father, and then he three-ways a third person who I am not interested in mentioning because it's not relevant. This is Danny.
See, this is the weird part, is like, why write it down on a PowerPoint when you could, if it's like this, why not just take a picture of it and only show the part that you're trying to show like this? Like, if this is how it was on the paper, why not just take a picture of the paper? That's my opinion.
McCoy, by the way, is his brother that's in the military, but that's before the shot goes off. Charlie Kirk shot goes off. I have that in detail. Charlie's brought to security. Mikey McCoy calls his wife. They will stay on the phone for 10 minutes. Okay. In that same minute, because we know this, because Blake Neff has given us his call log to his mother. Blake Neff called his mom. His call with his mother lasted 45 seconds. So we're assuming it went to 12:25. It very well could have stayed in 12:24, depending on the millisecond. Blake Neff ends that phone call with his mother. Mikey McCoy, after the phone call with his mother ends, adds Erika to the phone. Okay. So that when he was recapping and he's like, oh, his lips quivering, and he's like, I got to call Erika. And he's like, and then I called my mom. That's not right. That's just not right. Okay. Mikey called Erika after Blake Neff ended that phone call with his mother. If call logs are to be believed above, human testimony. Mikey McCoy then drops Erika from the phone call 2 minutes later, and then he adds his father to the phone call. Again, he is this entire time on the phone with his wife, okay? And then Mikey McCoy ends his phone call with his father. He does call another person who I'm not mentioning because it's just not relevant to anything. Not.
And that's the part I don't like either. He calls another person that I'm not going to mention. It's not relevant to anything. Yeah, it is relevant to anything. And you, before you met with Erika Kirk, would have said, what do you mean that's not relevant? This is a person that he called right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Don't you think that that's relevant to the situation? I could just hear her saying that now. So how is that third person not relevant, regardless if it matters or not?
In the story rather, and then he ends the phone call with his wife, and a minute later his brother calls him back and they stay on the phone for 10 minutes. I did not get this from everybody speaking about this Mikey McCoy call log. I know that you guys did not get this. I did not get this. I don't know why she was disappeared from this. Like, you could go, look, the wife wants privacy. No, she was like, main stage at the memorial, has been, I would say very involved in a lot of this kind of, like, I think it's very close that she's close with Erika. They went on vacation together. So I don't get this disappearing act. I found that to be like, okay, but they were forthcoming with it. That feels good. That feels good, guys. Like, wow, we don't have to guess. Now we have solid answers. And like I said, when you come out and give solid answers and you're not weird and calling people names and saying all this stuff, it allows people to go, okay, I feel a bit more like we can trust this process because we have communication. That's the reality. And so I wanted to update you with that. Also, another thing that really, I think, surprised them and I think surprised me is getting back to this Hamptons retreat. The thing about the Hamptons retreat, and I communicated this with them, that makes me so uncomfortable is how many little lies were told. I think I've been clear about that. Like, Seth Dillon definitively pressed Charlie at this event. Now, whether it was in a hypothetical, which it was in a hypothetical, but he got fired up in the hypothetical of Charlie discussing potentially tweeting something against Bibi Netanyahu, it did lead to this firecracker moment. Again, this is one of those.
And like, why did you bring up the fact that Charlie had messaged Andrew Colvat, but Erika didn't know about the fact he said that he felt like he was going to be killed, and then just leave the topic? Like, we're not even talking about that anymore. To me, that seems like you should have been. Why didn't you expand on that? What did Erika have to think about that? Did you guys have a conversation about that longer? You kind of just skipped over that.
Things where I go, why am I always being held out to dry, like hung out to dry for telling people the truth? Especially when I wasn't going, oh, well, Seth Dillon killed Charlie Kirk. I just, like, this happened. It factually happened. And yet everybody's kind of putting out these weird statements and they're not being honest in them. And I was saying to them, that made me feel really weird. And I would love to know more about this Bibi Netanyahu offer to fund Turning Point to the next level. At which point Erika said she was not aware of that happening. It is obviously totally possible that.
How is she not aware, dude? Like, you know how in ties they were together with Israel, let alone what Erika's parents do? Like, just none of this makes sense to me.
Was kept in the business lane of Turning Point USA. But I'm certain, I said, I am absolutely certain that I did not get this from an obscure source that Bibi offered to fund Turning Point to the next level. And it was part of my frustration with that sit down with Alex Clark, where Andrew said, oh, there was not $150 million that's made up. I told them, Andrew Colvat was my source. Andrew Colvat told me verbatim that Bibi Netanyahu offered to take Turning Point to the next level and that Charlie turned that money down. So
again, Andrew Colvat. All we keep hearing is Andrew Colvat. He keeps jumping the gun. Or he told me. Erika didn't know about it, but Andrew Colvat told me. What? Yeah, this is... I don't see me listening to Candace for too much longer if it keeps going down this way. Yep, exactly, Samantha.
I said there's a bit of a predicament when I'm being like lambasted by all of these voices and people that are attacking me and these paid campaigns. And when I say paid, yes, okay, actually have the names of people. Different ways are being paid. Some are being paid by PR firms. Too many are being paid by Prager University, which is upsetting to me because I know Marissa and it's just dirty. But it's especially crazy when people are calling it a conspiracy when I share things that are told to me from the spokesperson of Turning Point USA. Okay, that's weird.
Hey guys, we got 3 minutes left. We just need 24 more beautiful people to double tap that screen. 3 minutes left. Double tap that screen, guys.
And yes, they were forthcoming. Nobody's ever denied this, so this was not on our list of lies about the fact that Bibi Netanyahu did call him. Okay, that did happen. Bibi shared that, by the way. Our source for that could have just as well been Bibi Netanyahu. And not a lot of clarity on, I don't know, why some people think he didn't make this offer and why definitively 3 different sources who would have knowledge of this confirmed to me that Bibi Netanyahu did indeed make this offer. I never said $150 million ever, not once on the show. I wouldn't have even said that, by the way. If you said take Turning Point to the next level, I actually would have assumed it was more, if I'm being honest. That's a hefty offer and it leads to a lot of questions. So there was not a lot of clarity there. Lastly, I want to add, of course, I was locked in this meeting when people online were another round of debunking the Egyptian planes. I want to be very clear. We discussed the Egyptian planes, and I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our website, because I realized that when we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns, which was actually saying where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erika had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into an interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I'm certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady and that they were in fact tracking Turning Point USA, Faith, broader events. Of course, Erika was at some of them, Charlie was at some of them, but it is the pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes. I also want to say to you that I feel very confident that I know why these planes have caused such panic.
To me, it feels like a lot of it is like maybe something's being blamed on, like a lot of these, like a lot of stuff's being blamed on Andrew Colvett. Oh, Andrew told me this, but Erika didn't know. Like, I feel like a lot of attention's being taken away from Erika knowing anything that was said from Andrew or anything, to it just being blamed that Andrew said it behind Erika's back, right? There seems to be an effort to make it seem like Erika doesn't know a lot that's going on behind some of the scenes here.
And it is because there is overwhelming evidence that these planes regularly fly in and out of Israel. And I'm going to present that evidence tomorrow. I say that strongly. This is I feel very confident saying these Egyptian planes are flying in and out. And notice I'm saying planes because once I was able to connect people that were on those planes onto other Egyptian planes, I was able to realize that these planes are flying in and out of Israel and turning their transponder off each time that they do it. That is now makes perfect sense of why there was this mass panic, right? It's not exactly like we have a strong Egyptian lobby in the United States. Now we're like, whoa, well, those darn Egyptians again are trying to get TikTok censored. I mean, every person in the game, Barry, acting. Well, these are the usual suspects that act if something is a threat to.
Captain Leica, thank you for the $5. Is that euros or pounds? I'm such an idiot, I can never remember, but that's why you guys love me. You can laugh at me. Do you think Candace got threatened with a lawsuit like defamation at this meeting she had with Erika? I feel like it's possible she was threatened with something. Yeah. Like, you keep talking on this company in my name since I'm the victim in this situation, because she was named a victim, and you keep saying certain things, we're gonna take your company away. Pounds, that's right. Now I remember you donating before. Thank you so much. My bad. But yeah, I feel like that could be a plausible situation where she's like, if you keep saying these things and insinuating these things, we're gonna make it so we take your shit. We're gonna take shit away from you. I could see that. Because let's not forget when she was in front of Barry Weiss, when she asked that question saying, what do you think about podcasters like Candace Owens making up lies and building their podcasts off these conspiracies? And we all seen Erika's face. So let's not act like Erika Kirk went and talked to Candace Owens and it was just all smiles. I doubt it was all smiles. 100%. So I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that, you know, and not only that, but I think not only was that probably done, but I think there was a lot of diverting going on when it came to answers that were given to her. Because when you listen to Candace speak, she's like trying to give Erika grace and blame things on some of the ways that communication is with employees. That's how I see it. Well, Andrew Colvett said this, and I don't even know why the surgeon would even tell him anything. And Andrew Colvett is the one that told me directly that Bibi Netanyahu offered this to Charlie, but Erika didn't know. Andrew Colvett's the one who told me that Charlie texted him the night before saying that he felt like they were going to kill him, and Erika didn't know. There just seems to be a pattern here I'm noticing. At the same time, I can't see Candace agreeing to stop based on a lawsuit because Bridget McCrone sooner hasn't stopped her. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with the Bridget McCrone thing, she's been so focused on Charlie. I feel like that's her excuse for not keeping up on it. Because I don't think, has she still been uploading for the Bridget McCrone series? I don't think she has. I think she's been slowing down on it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I think we would all like to think that Candace Owens is gonna stay integratable and still search for truth and question things, but I think a lot of us are underestimating how connected Erika Kirk is. Her father worked on the Iron Dome for Israel and has strong ties. Her mom is on a geofencing committee for Israel. I mean, I just truly think that there's a lot of things that are we only see what they want us to see, and I feel like it gets way deeper and darker with certain things. Um, but yeah, that's a very good question. You know, I'm surprised Candace didn't say she brought a lawyer with her too. But that was a very good question. I mean, she look how much money she's made. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said, I feel like it's all theater, and we have to decipher truthhood from falsehood. Look at her husband's father. I know, but like, I feel like there's a point where if Candace is well connected, it would get to the point where, well, who's connected to more powerful people, or even if they're both really connected to people, but who are they connected to, and do they all have the same mission at hand here? You know what I mean? Like, would people that Candace are connected to go to Candace and say, "You need to stop, okay? Because now Erica's raising a stink with the people she's connected with, and we have business, and we have agreements." Like, stuff gets so deep, and once you figure out business and you figure out how these millionaires and billionaires work, and how they all meet up and they do different things together, you'd be surprised on how much people are actually connected, and who deals with who. But I mean, I would like to think that. I would like to think that Candace has her own connections and her own um support to where she could be like, "No, fuck you. I'm still going to continue to search for the truth no matter what." You know what I mean? But I feel like that there's just once you get to a certain level, there's a power at hand that affects everyone no matter who you are. So, um I don't know. I mean, look, Erika Kirk was at Candace Owens' wedding, right? So, they've all known each other for a long time. They've all had to have brushed shoulders with, you know, each other's business partners at some point. So, but that was a good question for sure. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. Thank you for the 100 likes. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for the subscriptions. We're on the road to 10,000 subs, man. So keep hitting that subscribe button. And thank you again for the £5. God bless you. If you guys want to get your name on the donor wall, send through your super chats. You want to get your comments read, send through your super chats. Because while I'm watching this and the chat keeps moving, it's hard for me to continuously keep up with the comments, especially if the chat's moving fast. If it's moving a bit slower, I try to read more, but it's hard for me to look down a lot and look up. So it's easier for me to read the super chats, even if it's just $1. So God bless you guys, man.
Israel, okay? Which is, they should have just been forthcoming, pretended that it was changing apart. Instead, they're trying to gaslight us, and they're actually, frankly, just pissing me off. So I became locked in on these Egyptian planes because that's how I am, okay? You keep pushing me and keep pushing me, I will become an expert on these planes. I'll learn how to build an Egyptian plane. And the reality is, like I said, tomorrow I will show you how these planes tie back to Israel. And there's no disproving this. So more on that later. We'll be right back after throwing into some of our sponsors.
I just don't get why she couldn't have said it now. Like, what? Why keep dragging it on? Just fucking say it, dude.
Okay, so a couple of things I want to say. First and foremost, I just got a live update that I thought it was Danny McCoy on the call log. I should totally correct that, and I will correct that, and we'll be sure to trim it in post here. But it is not Danny McCoy. It is Danny, another one of Charlie's assistants. So I will correct that. Please correct that if you're going to make videos. Not Danny McCoy that called him and then called him after. That is another assistant of Charlie's. So we want to be accurate. I don't know why I assumed it was Danny McCoy in my head. I may have done that. Okay, another thing. You guys may have been noticing that we are getting into this weird space where they seem to be almost writing like Candace Owens fan fiction.
Yo,
I can't even
by the way,
reply to things.
If y'all use my promo code at www.w.gg, you want to go get yourself some pre-workouts. You feel jitters from other pre-workouts, you don't like that, they have jitterless free pre-workouts along with awesome shaker bottles. Go to the beginning of the stream if you want to see how the shaker bottles work. But this dragon fruit one is super good. Not gonna lie. So if y'all want to try that one, try that one. It's super good.
And a lot of you sensed that this was because we were getting close. I agree. I fully agree that these attacks, which have grown hysterical, like I can't even begin to tell you the conversations between me and my PR person. I'm like, there's nothing to respond to. I mean, there's not even one sentence of this that is true. Case in point, by the way, New York Post does this article today. We were actually laughing, okay? Like, inside Candace Owens' sadistic and dangerous world, monetizing baseless conspiracies. This is after, by the way, they changed my husband's Wikipedia and said that he was a Qatari, like he had a Qatari passport or citizenship. I don't think my husband's ever even flown over Qatar. I could be wrong, but I don't think I know he's never been to Qatar. I don't think he's ever flown over Qatar. And they're just making it up, and then they make it trend no matter what it is. And I'm like, this is happening. It's like a psychological operation because they're trying to keep us constantly responding as opposed to focusing on our investigation, which is why I spent this weekend and I just kept down on the Egyptian plains because it's completely crazy. And when you see a
Dude, just get back to what you were talking about with Erika. I'm sorry, but dude, why are you talking about how they're trying to discredit you?
media storm like this, it can only be happening because Zionists are locking arms and going attack, 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 because they by and large control the media. They just do. Okay. One way or the other, Zionists control the empire medias, and they are scared about something in this investigation. We've noticed that from the very beginning. So they wrote in this article, the New York Post, just to give you an example of how insane this is. They said they had an inside source that told them that while I was at the Daily Wire.
You know one thing, Candace, I just thought about this. You know one thing Candace should have brought up to Erika? Should have brought up the fact that, why'd you guys try and make it seem like Charlie wasn't buried in a Catholic cemetery? Why'd you guys try and make it seem like he's always been a Judeo-Christian? Like, why didn't she bring some of that up? And no, guys, it's not G Fuel. It's Dubby Energy. Go to www.dubby.gg or Dubby Energy. Code See Me Now, all caps, no spaces for 10% off.
Here, I just
thank you to Plant Girl for the subscription. God bless.
Fought with people from the very source that in my first week, I threw my car keys.
I'm not gonna lie, Samantha. I thought that this podcast would have been different. Like, she would have had a lot more to say. She should have probably, I felt like she should have recorded, because I feel like her credibility is gonna go down the window here if she doesn't start actually getting to some of the meat and potatoes.
Producer, and expected them to park my car. That sentence genuinely made me laugh so hard, because I never once in the entire time that I worked for the Daily Wire did I ever drive my car to work. Okay. I just didn't. They had a driver that took me there. So I don't know why I would suddenly take the driver's keys and then throw it at somebody, but quite literally, I never drove the Daily Wire. So it's just when I say fan fiction, I'm like, this is fan fiction. Secondly, they say I did that to a producer and that I demanded others do my research. Could not be further from the truth. I have always done my own shows. I can't read a script. I riff my shows. I think that's pretty obvious. That I demanded a huge studio, attempted to use their PR firm to get the cover of People magazine, like full fan fiction. There's not even a shred. I don't even think we ever had a conversation about People magazine, because that would not be a normal outlet for any conservatives. That I wanted to be on the cover of People is insane. And they said that their sources also said that, like, my team hated me. My team came with me when I got fired. My whole team's here. So I was just going, okay, what is happening here? Why are we talking about Qatar? Why are they making these things up? And I have come to the same conclusion as you. It is because we are dangerously close to something. I think we have to keep pushing on the Huachuca Air Base, which we are doing. And tomorrow we are going to get back into the investigation. We're just going to ignore the noise because, as I have said and as I have maintained, I believe that Charlie was betrayed by people that are close to him. And I asked that question in the meeting. I'm like, okay, if we can agree that everyone around, I was like, I know there are people at Turning Point, they're not good people, right? And it's feasible that people if they have addictions that you can definitively get yourself in a scenario where you are willing to sell somebody out. This is a massive organization. How can we so confidently state that nobody had anything to do with anything here? And I think that one of the things that Erika was like, well, I'm not like a feminist, and I didn't want the vibe of that, which I think it did come across like a bit of a feminist, to say like, this is all my family. I'm like, how could this all be your family? I know people in this family and they're not good people.
How is this all your family when you just became CEO? Like, you didn't have nothing to do with nothing when Charlie Kirk was CEO. Yeah, you may have been at some events, things like that, but how are these guys your family? Like, what?
I didn't even do that with my own family. Okay. I got people in my family, like we all do, who aren't exactly walking a straight arrow in life. And
I agree, Rachel.
So I've communicated that. I have not changed my position on that. I am not going to stop researching the characters in this that I don't feel good about. But
I know she began as a feminist and then she turned conservative, but Captain Laika, sorry. I'm not shocked. I'm just like, because I knew when she met with Erika, like, you're meeting with the powers that be here. Like, Erika's very well connected. It's pretty obvious, especially if you know her past. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. If you're going to consider yourself a crusader for the truth and you're going to go down this whole rabbit hole and do everything you've been doing, you think you may have, like, tried at least secretly record the meeting or do something that's going to be for the people like you've been trying to do. But yeah, no, it's just like, I'm not surprised, but I am, because it's just like, how you go that hard and then I could never see myself doing that. Like, just completely doing a 180 like that. No.
further to sort of them just creating and making things up, Tim Pool has now gone out and extraordinarily claimed that
dude, this was crazy. When I seen he took his hat off, dude, no wonder he got so mad that day. He must have high estrogen levels. She was right. I'll give her that. Bro needs to take a flight to Turkey, okay? Brother. I thought the beanie was just for aesthetic. The beanie is to save the trolls from the comments. 100%. Brother. You don't even look like the same person with your hat off. You should paint yellow lines down the middle of your head because it looks like a damn highway going down the distance.
The same security as Charlie Kirk, and that I'm a fraud, and that actually I have the exact same security. You will recall that Tim just said a week ago that I have no security.
Captain.
Okay, this is Tim Pool a week ago.
She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the we have to deal with. She's a piece of
Dude, imagine if he had his hat off and he was doing that, like slamming his hand and yelling. Like, we already didn't take him, like, seriously when he had his hat on. Imagine if someone would have ripped it off while he was yelling.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security.
Yeah, I'll find I'll find the clip of him taking his hat off here in a second.
This is Tim, who said I had no security except for one fat guy, which I told you was not true. Now he's saying this. Take a listen.
Okay, I'll say things that I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say, because I always get super heated on this. Candace Owens has the same security team as Turning Point and Charlie Kirk did. She's lying. She has the same security people. I've been digging into this. I've been meeting with people and talking with them, and I shouldn't say too much because
he did it for money too.
Because rest assured, people are filing legal paperwork.
That makes it worse. He did it for money. No wonder why he's having trouble with the numbers and the money they were saying, and he took money to take his hat off. That's funny. I wonder how much they pay him to keep it off. Good morning, Stacy. God bless.
Candace has the same security team, or has used the same security companies and the same security personnel as Charlie and Erika did. So when she comes out and is questioning them, she is lying outright. Now, I've invited many of these people to come on. We'll see what happens. We'll see when they can. The issue is, The moment Candace goes on her show to millions of people and lies, litigation begins. And what happens when litigation begins? People don't do interviews about it. She is exploiting this, and she knows she is, to keep people wrapped up in this insanity.
Tim versus Tim, undefeated. And what I will also say is that's all a lie. It's almost like they have just sent a call, like they're getting too close, and just said, I don't care what you write. I don't care if it's complete fiction. Make it believable. Say her husband beats her. Say her, like it's coming after my husband. They're coming after me, and they're making stuff up. I have never employed the same security team as Charlie Kirk, ever. We went our separate ways early. Actually, there was it's obviously been publicized before he had Schaefer Security, and Schaefer Security, which was run by Greg Schaefer, who has issued a public statement. They had Dan Flood. And
Sorry, guys. I just have to do it real quick. Here's the video. Ah! Or I can just do. Hold on. All right, here we go. Watch. Here we go. He's taking it off for money. Oh yeah, bro. It's over for him, bro. Dude, I just can't. I'm sorry. That was too much.
and Brian Harpool working for them initially, I told Charlie I did not like the security apparatus. I got my own security separate from Charlie from the very beginning. Okay. That's a fact. It just is a fact. There's no way to undo that fact. Trying to do this strategy of you're going to get sued is just threatening somebody. If there was any truth to that, you can't just file legal paperwork. You have to send a cease and desist. You have to say, something you said on your show was untrue. Can you please correct this? Okay. And if I ignore that, as I did with Brigitte, because I told the truth, as I did with Kim Clasey, because I told the truth, then you have the grounds to file something. We have received no cease and desist from Charlie's security whatsoever. Over what?
Bro, I hope they gave him enough, like, to expose his hairline like that. I hope they gave him enough to fly to Turkey.
I mean, the audacity that you're filing a lawsuit and someone got murdered on your watch, because I accurately said that the Brian Harpool, the message he showed belonged to Dan Flood. It did. And that they didn't do a walkthrough on that day. They didn't. Like, and if something I'm getting wrong and you'd like to show me that actually you did, send it over. We're only interested in getting to the truth, and we're not getting it. We're certainly not expecting to get it from Tim Pool. That is crazy. That's just crazy town. But I do think that is right now the Zionist strategy, and that's why I want to encourage you guys to stay focused. Huachuca, which we're going to have a lot on tomorrow, because there is something there, and I think that caused a panic, as well as the Egyptian plains, which I am telling you go back, relate to Israel, and I will be able to prove that tomorrow for all of the naysayers. And again, it's only because this is how they act. If they always overreact, and then it lets us know that we are close. They are like an alarm. They are just an alarm. Something else that I wanted to show you, by the way, I thought we were not supposed to be doing live streams while we were speaking, but Turning Point, I guess, has their daily show, but that I didn't feel like that was communicated to me. It felt like a ceasefire, and then it got violated. But they had an interesting conversation on their show yesterday, on the Charlie Kirk show, about this trial, the upcoming trial, about Tyler Robinson. And here is what they had to say. Take a listen.
So this is straight from the charging document. It says Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a, quote, stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. And when you see how easy that rooftop access is, you start to kind of put one and one together, and you realize that Robinson had a plan that he was going to ultimately take advantage of. And he obviously knew how easy it was to get up to that rooftop, which is terrifying.
It really is. And look, one of the other things that's being pushed around for a long time was that, TPUSA both the local chapter and you guys didn't advertise this event till a couple days prior to. Now, the insinuation there is that that doesn't give Tyler enough time to plan for this. And what we found out with a little bit of, I don't know, 20, not even 5 minutes of Googling and looking.
Yeah.
Look, you guys had already put out on your website as early as August 27th. So we have at least almost a full 2 weeks prior to this, that not only the time of the event, but the location, the exact location of the UVU courtyard. So when you have over 10 days of planning, and it sounds like that Tyler already was familiar with the campus to begin with, like a lot of the mystery of this starts to go out the window, and it starts to really conform with what is exactly being proposed by the state of Utah and the FBI in the charging documents.
Yeah, and we can attest. Andrew Cipher, who's
But like, where is Lance? Like, that's the one question that like no one seems to care to answer, let alone figure out. Where's Lance? Where'd Lance go? Unless I'm living under a rock and I didn't hear anything yet, has anyone heard anything about where Lance could be? Anything? He just disappeared off the face of the earth. How? Like, he's not using a phone anywhere? He's not like, he hasn't logged in anywhere? He hasn't made a new account anywhere that could be him? Where's Lance? Where's he at? Where's the other people who were like Tucker Carlson said? Why aren't the people that said that Charlie was going to be evaporated the day he came to UVU? Why aren't they being questioned? Where are they at? And I still think that the guy who asked the question the moment he got shot should be, checked out. But you know what we should do? We should watch Andrew Callahan, Channel 5 News. If you guys know who he is, pretty good guy. Runs a good channel. He interviewed him after. And you want to know one thing in retrospect, looking back, that I find odd? Is when they interviewed him, or when Andrew interviewed him in his house, he had gay pride flags, BLM flags, and every other flag up on his wall. You guys don't know who Lance is? Lance is apparently Tyler Robinson's furry lover that just disappeared off the face of the earth after Charlie got shot.
our head of field. Charlie sometimes throw the events out, 7-10 days in advance. If something opened up in his schedule, he would be able to do these outdoor events, a pretty quick turn. And so those whole that whole theory kind of goes out the window.
So, unless I am mistaken, and I am not perfect, but I do feel like we worked really hard to see when this location was first revealed. The first time that we found that the courtyard was mentioned, because Charlie's speaking at events, your assumption would be they're inside, right? You have no idea where it is. So it's not like you can see whether you have a shot to the courtyard unless you know Charlie's speaking in the courtyard. The earliest that we found that was on September 2nd. The local media mentioned on KMYU that Charlie was speaking at UVU in the courtyard. Okay, that's the first time that we found this. If I am wrong, please tag me, because what he's referring to on August 27th that
all right,
happened,
guys. He wants to come say hi like he always does. Come on, come say hi. Here's Zeus, everybody. Yes, I know. You're becoming the channel mascot. You're the attention guy. I know. I love you too, brother. I love you too.
have on our timeline as well, and this is why I love a timeline, is that TPUSA, UVU, and the local BYU chapter shared a graphic announcing that Charlie was coming to UVU, but there were absolutely no location details mentioned. So that actually does shred the idea that he could have practically gone and scaled rooftops before September 2nd. That's the first public mention, is September 2nd. So they announced the event on August 27th, as he says, no location details. And then on September 2nd.
You know why I think that they're trying not to find Lance? Here, watch out, buddy. I think that Lance truly, I just don't even know if he's around anymore, if you guys get what I mean. Is he even still alive? Like, I don't even know if the guy's still alive anymore.
Second, there are location details provided by local media for the first time. Prove me wrong. Okay. Prove me wrong if that is, if I'm inaccurate, because I do think that we were thorough on that. I will update my timeline. If not, it does then beg the question, surely they must have footage after September 2nd of him testing the rooftop in some capacity to then realize, oh, it's going to be an outdoor event. This is an opportunity for me to go after him. We are waiting for that. And like I said,
Where did you hear he's in witness security at? Oh my God. Yo, puppy. You unplugged my stuff, homie. What's up? God damn, bro. You messing shit up now. Gosh darn, homie. There we go. Yeah, don't jinx me. I don't even know where that cat is. Now, let's see if he does that this episode.
I was told that they don't have anything that the public doesn't have. So it's not obvious to me. I don't think it's obvious to the public. Now, I do want to get to Viva Frey, who had this to say regarding drones. Oh, sorry. Around the regarding the text messages from Tyler Robinson.
A lot has been made about these text exchange that went back and forth between Robinson and his lover, his trans furry gay lover, whatever. And people say it doesn't sound right. Well, there is a video that I want everybody to check out by Turkey Tom. I believe you've watched it now, Viva, where this has been authenticated as somebody who was in the.
All right, this is the video. The video that Andrew Colvett's referring to is the video that we watched a month or two prior to today of Turkey Tom going over the fact that some person that was close to Tyler had sent him a bunch of information. Then we went over like the pictures of Tyler Robinson's apartment and stuff. If you guys don't remember that, you guys can go look at Turkey Tom's channel or look up Turkey Tom Tyler Robinson. I'm sure it'll pop up, and check that out. Pretty good video.
Discord chats with them and apparently spent time with them at this apartment. And he said 100% this is how they talked, which is a striking finding. We're going to go into that more probably tomorrow or the next day, depending on how today goes. But I mean, I get the skepticism on this. At first, it struck me too. But apparently this is how they talk, Viva.
That was not the most implausible thing to believe. Okay, so you have a text message. It does read, regardless of whether or not this is how they talk. People saying they were manufactured by or drafted by AI. To the extent that they're confirmed text messages, you can, come to whatever conclusions you want after that. But whether or not this is how they talk regularly, to the extent that those were authentic text messages, they show what they show, which is whether or not his lover was aware of what was going on. You're etching bullets, and it's maybe not for target practice of a sporting nature. But like when I say I don't believe the official narrative, and you have to go back to a number of things here. I put my.
I'm sorry, but I think when you look at Tyler Robinson in court and you see the way he looks, he doesn't look that bright, dude. Like I'm sorry, he just doesn't.
Sort of
he doesn't.
Best theory as to what went down. I want to know who was on the Discord chat in advance, what they were discussing, and whether or not there might have been some other foreign, I say foreign, not foreign government, but outer influence there. Tyler Robinson is getting radicalized.
I will stick up for Candace in one way by playing devil's advocate for all you guys saying that she's using Charlie's name to make money. What is TPUSA doing and Erika Kirk? I just got another letter in the mail the other day saying donate for Charlie. I mean,
Right about the same time as Thomas Crooks, right about the same time as the other guy, Ryan Ruth. He's being radicalized at a politically relevant period of time, right around the same time, oddly enough, as the alleged suspect in the January 6th pipe bomber. A time frame where political violence is potentially very useful for the upcoming election. So the time frame of the radicalization is very interesting. To see whether or not he was on anybody's radar beforehand, we don't yet know that, and why there would not be confirmation on that can lead to suspicion. You remember the old man, George Zinn, arrested for claiming to be the shooter the day of, and then gets busted for CP on his phone. Like, in my mind, if I'm making a plausible theory here, George Zinn was probably on some Discord chat with a bunch of young perverts, and he's an old pervert, and he's getting off doing whatever they do on those chats. He knows what's going down. He shows up there and thinks he's going to be some useful decoy or distraction for Tyler Robinson because they know what's going down. That's my theory. But, you know, it is the absence of total disclosure, the total lack of faith that anybody has, not just in the FBI per se, but in any state law enforcement. Nobody has any faith in our institutions anymore, and it leads people to go from, you know, healthy skepticism to just not believing it to concocting the most outlandish conspiracy theories imaginable. But then those text messages, you can understand how they will cause people to come to those types of conclusions. And allegedly, the rumors are Kash Patel, you know, getting mad at Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent for trying to look into a potential terrorist angle to this also does nothing to foment faith in the system.
Look, I think it's what he's saying there is perfectly valid, and we can all surmise about what we think happened that day. We can also ignore the fact that I broke the story that the nurses were told at Utah Valley, which treated George Zinn. Everyone's just ignoring the things that I broke. She has no evidence, but he told the nurses that he was paid to do that. So whatever, we can all theorize, and which we're going to do in the absence of any concrete facts. But I will say it's good that Turning Point is at least giving that air, right? I feel before, I think that might even be the first time Andrew Colvett has expressed that he thought that those messages were weird initially. That's good. That's what people want. They want fresh air at Turning Point USA. They want different perspectives. They want to feel like you're willing to have a conversation, and that at least you're going to defend people when they're being called liars when they're telling the truth about something. That would feel more authentic, I think. And so I am, just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that Justin Strife did a great job reffing that conversation yesterday. And
but are you guys gonna talk again? Like, are you and Erika gonna talk again? I just don't understand about, like, how the first 30 minutes of this video, first 25 minutes of this video were what you said to Erika and what she said, very vaguely, I must say as well. But you're like going way off track. Like, this is supposed to be an episode of you talking about what you and Erika talked about, and you brought up no good points and no good, like, damning things you even brought up to Erika. Like, none at all. And not even good points. Like, the things you brought up weren't even the greatest. To me, it sounded like you and Erika are trying to blame everything on Andrew Colvett if there's any misunderstandings. That's just how I take it. Why have you not brought up anything else? Doesn't make sense. Oh, tune in tomorrow. Like, it's just getting old, I'm not gonna lie.
Also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly, because we were trying to make this happen in the background really since Blake Neff fumbled the first invite. And thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got enough flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this. But I want to commend him for making that happen, for being the person that, you know, kind of rolled up his sleeves and was like, okay, let's actually make a conversation happen and start answering some questions, which I think was done well. And Megyn Kelly, who was initially going to, when we were going to live stream the conversation before the Barry Weiss moment, Megyn Kelly offered to ref that conversation. I felt like she would have done a very good job. I do think that she has kept it very even. She has not been hysterical and it's demonic, it's evil, how dare Candace? And I appreciated that. She has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this because she's been possessed by a demon. I think she actually believes these things, and I do. And I have a right to believe those things. And I don't feel any differently about the people that I mentioned on the show that I think are shady at Turning Point USA. And with time, we'll see whether or not I was right. I think that's really what it comes down to. But all around, definitely a productive conversation. I know it's 4 hours, so more things will come to my mind as they become relevant. But I think that that's a good pause for right now. We'll throw to some of our sponsors. All right, you guys. So writing in can trigger autoimmune, sweet tooth, equals parasites, and invasion. That's promo of housekeeping items, you guys. If you want to make him a sandwich in time for Christmas, you can do that on Amazon. If you want a discount, you can buy it direct from us at makehimasandwich.com, and you will actually get 20% off. And we also have signed copies available at CandaceOwens.com, so be sure to do that. We have new merch on the website. Of course, we have our time episode. You better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. That is a direct quotation from Charlie Kirk, and that's why we're doing it. It does keep us free, and we're all sensing the squeeze. It's like they just want our speech. They want to purchase rational thinking. We can't allow that to happen. Okay, from this episode, Curbster writes, I am praying that our girl is playing the ultimate long game while staying true to her convictions and true toward all of us who have backed her and Charlie from the beginning. I am praying that God keeps you strong, righteous, and faithful in every step that you take. May God save America and protect us all. I want to say this to you guys just plainly. If I was going to sell out, it would have happened in the last 2 years, okay? Those offers were made, those threats were made. I hope you have seen what I have gone through to keep myself, really. I was fighting to stay me, and it was hard. And that it made me really appreciate the fact that we do live in a matrix and every element is controlled. And that is why they are vicious right now with making up things about me and my family, because now that I chose freedom, they hate that I have freedom. They hate that there's no more threats to make, right? So they're just embarking on this fan fiction campaign. But especially for the people that I care about in life, right? Especially for people whose heads I have held up, who have held up my head through really hard times like Charlie did, that I would just sell out to like the highest bidder and go, okay, well, you know what? BB offered me a lot of money, so I'm going to stop talking about this, and I'm no longer going to explore this angle, or I'm going to, to repeat to you guys, it was definitely Tyler Robinson. It's just not in my character. I have always been the kind of person that knows that it's not worth living life that way. My whole spirit would be corrupted. I couldn't do it. I struggle with people that can do it. I struggle seeing people who have so obviously sold their souls on the internet. It's very frustrating to watch it. Central 848 writes, Candace, please look into the possibility that Charlie was electrocuted and that the hole in his neck was made by the currents passing through his necklace and out of his throat. The images of his charred hands are conclusive and compelling. Please, for the love of God, look into this. I did watch that video that Baron Coleman put together. First and foremost, I want to say Baron Coleman has done some incredible work, and I actually told him that we should get together and collaborate because I had watched a video of his where he was building on Camp Huachuca, and he made me notice some things. So then we started researching some other elements, and that's what we're going to move on to tomorrow. I can tell you definitively that's a weird camera angle. They do look charred in the photos that he showed, but I can tell you that his hands were not charred when he was buried. And so what you thought that like people were like, oh, this was like makeup and stuff. It was a very compelling theory. It just wasn't so. And I very much trust the person that told me that. But that said, the Baron Coleman, if you have not seen the episode where he builds on what I said about Camp Huachuca, that is worth a watch. He kind of suggests in that episode, which I want to shut down, he suggests that, I think he heavily suggests that it could have been the Veep on the base. Vance on the base, and I did then research because I was like, oh, wow, is he right? There's actually video of Vance, so it could not have been Vance on the base. Again, I'm getting ahead of ourselves here. We should talk about more of that tomorrow, but that is a very compelling video that he did, which was fantastic work, and I do want to collaborate with him. Maybe we'll do it this week or next week Christmas, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Jenna writes, your true fans had no doubts about you whatsoever. Merry Christmas to you. I was like, are you new here? Girl, I have been maimed, fired, caricature. I'm watching right now. My family go through that right now because they are so desperate. And I just think we're close to an awakening and really understanding what real evil is. So we're going to keep pushing. Zachary Loft writes, longtime listener, first-time donor. Why wasn't the convo live? Why is Brandon Tatum the only creator that you follow on both IGs? That was 2 questions. Okay, the first thing, why wasn't the convo live? It was first intended to be live. They did say, obviously, you saw the offer Blake Neff made, which was not a true offer. But then what came behind that was Erika communicating with Megyn Kelly and me. Megyn Kelly was kind of the intermediary. We were trying to find someone that was fair, like I said earlier. And then obviously it sort of felt like it got a bit uglier the next week. And I sort of felt, and I think it was fair, that then she went on this press tour and it was kind of directed at me. So then they said, okay, well, by that I mean Justin Strife kind of said, the temperature's a little hot right now. What about we do like not an off record conversation, but have a private conversation. And I actually will say, I wished it was live, but I will also say I am glad.
Yeah, I kicked him once already, and he apparently, I don't know if he's a hacker or whatever he is. No, he just has a multiple accounts because you can see the end of his name's different. So he's one of those losers who makes multiple accounts and then will come back in and then come back in another account, come back. That's the 3rd one. Now here's the 4th one. See, he's just gonna keep coming in. So Pumpkin, I think it's time that you become a moderator anyway, so I'm just gonna make you a moderator and you just keep blocking him when he comes in here, because I'm just not gonna deal with it. Just ban him from the channel. I mean, I don't know who like, either it's a bot, like a bot farm that does it to people, trying to get them off the air, because that's what he's trying to do to me. Or he's just one of those people who have no life at all and makes a million accounts to troll. I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just, I guess, how it is. I don't know. People are weird.
Add that some parts warrant, because I was then able to tell them some things that I have not yet said that I wanted to like fact check and get some answers on, but also to say something to them that I found out that I didn't say because I didn't want to hurt the company in a way, right? So some of this is very relevant to Charlie's research and what happened on 910, and some of it is not. So we got to, I guess, have a better, that portion of the conversation I think was better off camera. But I was always open and am still open to live streaming with them whenever. Truly, like whenever. You guys know I'm an open book, so it wasn't my demand that it be private. I was happy to do a live stream, but I think Justin thought that it would be better if after, just so we could kind of bring the temperature down, which I think was very much accomplished. Temperature was definitely brought down. Zachary Loft wrote, longtime listener for, oh, sorry, I just read that. Mr. Bruce Lee writes, people in the chat, many other channels are not hearing what they want to hear, so it's automatically, well, Candace got paid. The chats are so botted. It's better to actually look at comments after the episode to see what people think. And we've had so many people talk about how there are so many bots in the chat, and so focus on obviously the words that I am saying, and obviously you can tell that I have not been paid, because I wouldn't be talking about Israel. And I think there's something to explore there. We'll get into that tomorrow. One Will Wallace writes, pretty clear to me that Kirk was murdered because of his voice and influence. Here's some support toward that security detail. Thank you very much. It's obvious that these people will stop at nothing to silence someone. Continue to stand 10 toes down for the truth. But please be careful. God bless you, Candace. Thank you. That is actually a tremendous donation. Thank you for guys who have been giving these donations, which have gotten bigger because you're concerned about security. And I think everybody after Charlie Kirk assassination is more concerned about security. It's a discussion that my husband and I are having more and more. And that's why it feels especially disgusting when someone like Tim Pool is trying to signal to people, attack her. Like, he's basically trying to signal to people that her security is weak, or like she's using the same security as Charlie, all of these things. Like, he is trying to put into the air that he wants me to be attacked. That's how I'm taking this, because why is he making my security a theme on his show? I don't trust that at all, and I don't know what's guiding that. Rio Bays writes, how would Erika and the feds not see those messages? That makes zero sense to me. I think you're referring to the messages that Charlie got the night before. Yeah, we didn't discuss whether the feds had received those messages. I will say that. We did not discuss that. But we did discuss, she obviously said that she did not see those messages. So I'm going to read the rest of your comment. How would Erika and the feds not see those messages? That makes zero sense. Erika, Brian Harpole, and so many others caught in these lies. This is what you fished for. Why go soft? That doesn't make sense. Also heard that we're chilling with TPUSA members at Tucker's party. That's another more fan fiction. I have no idea what that was about. You're referring to a person who went and said that Candace was hanging out with TPUSA and Tucker and Marjorie Taylor Greene at Tucker's Christmas party. To my knowledge, I did not see any Turning Point USA employees. I did not have a conversation with any Turning Point USA employees. To my knowledge, that I did not see them. It was a massive party. I have never had beef with Tucker. That's why I was at his Christmas party. And I've never had beef with Marjorie Taylor Greene. So yeah, I spoke to them. That's what I mean. It's like the attacks are just every second of every day accusing me of something. And the implication there was like I was like sitting on the side laughing and enjoying a beer with Terrell Farnsworth and Tyler Boyer. I am sure, because Tucker obviously has a good relationship with them, that there were some Turning Point USA employees. I didn't speak to them. To my knowledge. I did not speak to them. So I actually responded and I said to the person, why don't you publish who you're talking about? You don't have to, like, everyone's like beating around the bush. Like, I can't say what I know about her security. Say it, because you're lying. Okay. If you say you know something about how I'm actually secretly laughing with Turning Point USA, speak plainly. I have nothing to hide. I am not the person who's playing any games right now. So if you're going to call me out, go all the way. Okay, go Max on calling me out, because if I'm a fraud,
Welcome in, Matt. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm doing good. Had my injection on the 15th. I've been doing good since then. Just a little bit sore, but we're getting there. I'm gonna go to the gym in a little bit. So, yeah. Welcome to the See Me Now family, guys. If any of you guys are new to the channel, I hope you guys are having a good day. God bless you guys. Hope you guys are having some good weather. It's a little bit cold here, but still a little bit sunny, so it's all right. It's all right. But it's full-blown winter now in North Dakota, so.
the public sure as hell deserves to know it. And you're not going to find me in a situation like that. Isabella Mazzone writes, can you elaborate more about Charlie and his journey to Catholicism? Did Erika confirm that? I am going through a journey with Catholicism as well, and I think that they should be honest about that. Look, obviously, Erika confirmed it. I was always telling the truth, that was one of the first things I said. I was like, what was that weird Alex Clark thing? I was being attacked for no reason, and then I get these people doubling down on it, and I know that they know that it's true that Charlie was going to Mass. And I can't speak on whether he was close to converting. That's a conversation, like you said. Erika can speak on that, and there might be a time and a place for her to do that. I can only speak on the fact that I wasn't lying and that I was having those conversations with him, and he was attending Mass. And I do think, from what I've been told, that he was planning on signing up and starting that process, but I did not personally have that conversation with him. So that's third party. The right person to speak about that would be Erika, and I do think she should. I think she should, because nobody was nastier to me than the Judeo-Christians, the evangelical crowd, because I told the truth about conversations that I had with Charlie about Catholicism. And none of them corrected the record. None of them said I'm sorry. None of them said I didn't know what I was speaking about. They just kind of doubled and tripled down on attacking me, which is a repeat theme. I am always being attacked for telling the truth, and I just keep telling the truth. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Candace. You're disappointing me and everybody else this stream, I feel like.
What's the lie? Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Lastly, Lamp writes, how come Qatar is always used as the go-to punching bag by the media? Why does Qatar never even push back? And Qatar seems to never attack Israel in a war of aggression or any sort of attack. Have they ever even done anything negative toward Israel? Well, Qatar recently came out and said, yeah, we work with Hamas because Israel and the United States asked us to. They asked us to play the intermediary. And now we are being attacked for doing what they asked us to do, which sounds like the most absolute United States-Israel thing ever, is to ask people to help you and then to be like, oh, I'm so horrified by what they're doing. And I tend to believe that. I don't understand the weird Qatar thing. Like I said, I would take Qatari money. I would. They haven't called me. It's deeply upsetting. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, what I'm getting wrong, what I can do better to make them call me. I would be totally one of those people that's in the commercials. Have you seen, like, Qatari Airlines is supposed to be amazing, apparently. And I'd be in a commercial for Qatari Airlines. I don't mind somebody making that NAI video and maybe sending that over to the Qatari embassy and seeing if they want to hire me. I am open to being paid by Qatar. So I don't get it. I don't know why Jared Kushner and Zionists are allowed to go to Qatar, which happened recently, and do deals with them. But for some reason, Candace and Tucker are not. It's just not fair. What do I have to do to be seen by Qatar? And I guess it's a question for another day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, just disappointed. Just disappointed. The fact that she went off about what was really talked about in the meeting only for about 25 minutes and seemed to have brought Andrew Colvett up a large amount of the time was just not impressive at all. I guess we'll see what she has to say today, but it's just at the end of the day, dude, I don't know. Don't know what was talked about during that 4.5 hour conversation, but I don't know. She didn't even bring up anything juicy, at all. And then everything that was juicy, the whole BB offered to take TPUSA to the next level. Oh, Andrew Colvett told me that, but Erika never knew. Andrew Colvett got told by the surgeon that his neck stopped at 30-06, and he shouldn't even have known that. Andrew Colvett got texted by Charlie the night before saying he felt like he was going to be assassinated tomorrow. But Erika never knew. There was no explanation for really anything, or going into detail about anything when it comes to anything Candace was alleging, or you think that it would have had a little bit more substance to it, right? I mean, that's what I think. Should have had a whole lot more substance to it. I want to show you guys what I meant by I want to show you guys what I meant when I was talking about Andrew Callahan interviewing the guy who asked the question, "Is Charlie Kirk got shot?" I don't know. This is just weird, a weird interview, but we'll play a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna get going because I'm gonna go to the gym. But thank you guys for running up the likes. I appreciate you guys. We're on the road to 10,000 subs, so continue to hit the subscribe button with the notification bell. Show some love and support. If you guys want to get your name on the donor wall, send through your super chats. It's also hard for me to continue to keep up with all the chats, and I feel bad when I miss some of them, especially when we're having a conversation and I miss some of them, but it's because I'm trying to watch this too to give a good reaction. But hey, super chats are the easy way, so I can go to fan funding and see your guys' questions. But I understand how tough times are, so if you guys want to support your boy, get your name written down on the donor wall, send through your super chats. But most importantly, just hit like and subscribe and help me grow the family. Love you guys.
Hunter. I was in the middle of debating Charlie Kirk in the middle of the assassination at Utah Valley University.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
What brought you to the event that day?
I make videos on...
you see this guy's room? Hold on.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
What brought you to the event?
So he has like every flag up imaginable. Black Lives Matter, the gay flag, LGBTQ flag. I'm surprised he has an American one up. I don't know what this compass one is, but what a room.
Event that day.
I make videos on Charlie Kirk, and I made this video about the statistical analysis on trans shooters. And sort of the point that I was trying to make was that it's sort of a statistical outlier, that they're extremely underrepresented when it comes to how peaceful they are. Obviously, that question, pretty ironic given when it was given. Yeah, so I mostly came in there because Charlie's very open about having some sort of dialogue or some sort of conversation.
Welcome in, Reginald.
That he believes in engaging. And I'm pretty on the record of how much I disagree with him, but I do definitely respect how much he's willing to platform voices to ensure that, at least some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it.
Mm-hmm. And as far as these statistical anomaly thing when it comes to trans shooters, is that in response to the way that him and Turning Point were framing that as a big issue?
So it was about 3 weeks ago. There was a trans shooter at a Catholic church. Charlie made a bunch of tweets basically saying
that was really sad too.
When are we going to start noticing that this is a trend? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my math degree at UVU. That was my university. And I was like, there's an answer to that. There's, we can determine if there's some sort of outliers. We can use p-values, things like that. And I was like, according to the data, it really doesn't pan out that there is a trend here at all. So I kind of made a video calling him out a little bit and saying, hey, I want to come debate you. I want to come do it. And a lot of people were kind of encouraging me. So I kind of wanted to come and have my, I guess my little audience see that.
Mm-hmm. How was the energy whenever you arrived to the event?
Very conservative, for sure. Everyone was very energetic, chanting Trump, chanting USA.
If you guys don't know who this is, obviously I'm sure a lot of you do, but for the people who aren't following, this is the guy who asked the last question to Charlie before he got shot. And he was also seen practicing some sort of, oh my God face at some point. I don't know how much validity there is to all that, but this is who he is, and I just wanted to watch this over again. I already watched it, but looking back at it in retrospect, I find a lot of things kind of odd with this interview.
Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
There was a line of liberals on the rooftop who were holding like pride flags and I think some like Palestine flags and things like that. And, you know, there was a little bit of taunting back and forth, but not very out of hand. Most of the debaters were either like asking questions like who's better, LeBron or Jordan, or like some like theological debates about distinctions between like Mormonism and Christians.
That Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God over all. Christ is King.
But also, the event lasted, I want to say 20 minutes, maybe. Like, I really didn't get a good finger on the pulse on what an event would really look like, because, I mean, I showed...
Thank you to Matt for the Cash App, brother. God bless you. I gotta write your name on the wall. Hold on. Thank you for the $4 donation, brother. God bless you. I hope you're having a good day. Good thing I have my computer here connected to everything, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it, been able to thank you. So thank you so much, brother. I'm going to go grab the marker quick. I don't want to miss your comment, Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate you. God bless. I wonder, did you make a comment on here? Thank you so much, brother. I didn't see any comment on here yet, but I want to thank you so much for the donation. God bless you. And I'm writing your name down right now, brother. Salute. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I'm sorry if I missed any comment. I didn't mean to if I did, but thank you so much, brother. God bless you.
Showed up fairly early. I was the second person to speak there. So, like, you know, the first person was maybe...
I'm not going to go over this whole video, guys, because I am going to go to the gym. But we'll go over most of it.
10 minutes, and I maybe got, like, less than a minute in. So...
Could you give us kind of a recap of how that conversation with Charlie went?
Sure.
Yeah, this is working. Hey, Charlie. Hey, hopefully we're going to have a little bit more disagreement.
So it was, I came in and I said, hey, there was a shooting that happened maybe a few weeks ago in Minneapolis.
And ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans. Now,
do you think, is that, you agree with this? Is that a fair assessment or something like that? And he said,
you have a good day at work, Matt. Thank you so much. Trust me, I'm going to continue to run it up. We're going to continue to search for the truth, let alone just continue to grow this family, because I feel like family and sense of community is more important than ever. So thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, and you have a blessed day at work.
yes. And then...
I won't do you wrong, brother. I won't disappoint you.
I I said,
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
and I said, there's 5. And I said, do you know how many shootings there have been? I think maybe my memory's a little hazy. I haven't rewatched the videos, honestly. But it was something like this, which I knew the answer was, it was a little under 6,000. He said something like, we need to account for gang violence. And I think I was like, I was in the middle of saying, great, did you run a statistical analysis on that, right? Like essentially saying you have the burden of proof. And I think I was in the middle of saying that when he got shot. I went down pretty immediately, and everyone near me, everyone in the rest of my line, who I'd been talking to for the last like few hours, dropped down with me. I remember, I have a brother who was in a school shooting, and I was talking about the distinction between these, that like for me, it was there wasn't as much fear as I think I would expect, because I recognized immediate, like I think I was a lot more logical than I thought I would be in that moment, where I was like, that's an assassination. He is the target. He is the only target. I am freaked out.
How do you know that though? Like if he's talking about what he was thinking in the moment, how do you know that this is a assassination? He's the only target.
But I know that I'm okay.
Yeah, that's sketchy. Watching this back is very telling.
Whatever. It definitely became chaotic. My wife was in the crowd. I tried reaching her. It took me like 20, 30 minutes. Just a lot of chaos as like, I sort of shifted in a weird place. And then I had to wrap back around, and I couldn't find her, and our phones weren't really working, and it was bombarded by texts, and I don't know. So it was very chaotic, and it took a while to really orient myself. But it was a strange environment because people were kind of milling around afterward. I think a lot of people had this similar idea that it's like, this is different. An assassination is very different from a mass shooting, where a mass shooting you disperse, right? Everyone's a target. But when it comes to an assassination, it's everyone just sort of was there. And I heard a number of people say like, so much for the tolerant left, right? Like the 2 or 3 people said that as they walked by.
And what do you think about that assessment?
I made this video a little while ago. I've been following, sounds crazy. I've been following Charlie Kirk for a little while. I went to Tampa, Florida for one of his events. I remember I was just basically interviewing some of his followers, and I found this girl, and she seemed so young and bright, ignorant for sure, dumb, I would probably say. I'm like, I'll be honest, dumb, but I was just asking her questions, and I started bringing up, I'm like, oh, liberals would say, and then I would give my argument, right?
You know, someone can go get like a whole surgery done, you know, without parent approval. It's like, how is that even happening? How are they going to the doctor's appointments without the parents there?
And then like, I've seen parents on social media where they're like, oh, I haven't identified my kid yet, da, da, da. And it scares me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna.
Yeah, you should have your kid taken away if that's how you are as a parent. I'm sorry. You should have your child taken from you.
Grow up thinking that they don't know what they are, or like that they could transition into something else. And
But wouldn't that be transitioning with parent approval?
yeah, that's what I'm like saying, like to take away. Does that make sense?
But if they have parent approval, it sounds like you're talking about parents who give approval that they should be trans.
She was like, that's such an interesting thing. I've never thought of that, right? She gave, and I was like, I was like, cut, that's so perfect. I'm so glad I captured that like the conservative person was so clearly just kind of needed to hear the right thing and maybe got bumped in the right direction. And I posted it feeling so confident, and 90% of the
Burnsy runs. I do actually, because it's a useful idiot. He may not even know he's being used. You guys have to understand that just because you think that someone is used doesn't mean they know. Like yeah.
comments were about how fat she was. And I really felt like what am I contributing to in this culture? And like in some ways I'm extremely proud of the left. I'm extremely proud of the people that I've met organizing and being in these conversations. And I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And I would also say that the right definitely has its issue with violence, right? We talk about political violence, like, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro, Paul Pelosi, I could go on and on. But like, I am startled very often by how quick people are to grab onto like righteous violence. And I don't know. I understand his assessment when he says so much for the tolerant left. Like, that's kind of in some ways, a lot of things that I've seen.
Was there something you saw in particular that you were like, man, that's too far?
Yeah, about Charlie? Or, I mean,
Yeah, if there's anyone being racist in my chat, my moderators should be checking that out. And I can't, this is why I said that people need to, if you want me to read your chat, super chat, because I cannot always pay attention to the chat, you guys. You guys got to understand that when I look up, the chat's already gone that are, you know what I mean? The chat goes too fast on my screen for me to read.
yeah, I saw someone post, like, proud to be a UVU.
Like, if I'm looking up at the video for 2 minutes, all the chats that you've seen that are bad, I didn't get to see.
Today. And like, it's also people in my hallways, right, who are just maybe a little bit terminally online. But like, I don't know. I for sure seen some
But you guys should not be being racist in chats. I do not agree with any racism. I do not agree with anybody talking about any color of skin badly. When there's bad apples in every single race, guys.
am I gonna be sad? I'm glad he's in the grave. A lot of comments like that.
Nah, real shit though, how do we know that Charlie Kirk didn't die of a fentanyl overdose? You feel me? Like, we gotta wait on the toxicology reports come out, cause, okay, we might have saw a gunshot and shit, but we also saw somebody put their knee on somebody else's neck, and we saw other people still say that person died of fentanyl overdose.
What was some of the rhetoric you saw online that was like particularly insane to see? What kind of things were they saying?
Seeing people in comments on like big news pages that are like, yeah, well, anyways, what's for dinner? Or, well, this is karma. Like, this was deserved. Nobody deserves to be shot and killed. Nobody. Doesn't matter if they're Democratic Party, Republic Party, does not matter.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves to be shot and killed in front of their family.
Yeah.
No one.
How did we get to this point where it's so divided we can't even look at the other party, you know? So it's disappointing, you know, It's shocking.
So you monitored the online discourse in the immediate aftermath of the shooting?
First few hours, I for sure logged off.
That's enough time.
Democrats own what happened today.
Bro, I'd be so pressed if this guy shot me.
Yeah.
So you kind of I saw like two different narratives on the right. They were like, all right, this is the turning point for the left. Like, they have officially gone haywire. I think Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer said, we are all Charlie Kirk. And then, I think libs of TikTok said, this is war. So it was like the, spawn point for like a larger domestic conflict that's going to be apparently spearheaded by the left. Then there was a lot of people that I saw celebrating the death, saying like, this is what he deserves for his rhetoric about Gaza and immigration. And they pointed to some of his quotes where I think one quote said, it was something like, I'm willing to accept gun violence and gun deaths as a natural byproduct of the freedoms that we have with our Second Amendment. And there was just a couple different things where people were making it seem like this was a symbolic victory for the left. And is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty adamant, and I don't shy away from how much I dislike the things that Charlie says.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence?
I disagree with him on
Yeah, coming out, that does look bad. Like, when he says that, of course it does. But he's talking about DEI, how people are just hired because they have the color of their skin and they have no qualifications. That's what he's talking about. Could he have worded it better? Yes. But he wasn't like completely being racist. It did come out like that. Yes. It does not look good. That's for sure.
In different fronts. And I feel like I don't know why it's so hard to not hold that in one hand and in the other hand hold that's a human being, that's a father of two children, right? Like that both of those can fully coexist at the same time. And in some ways, I have a lot of respect for Charlie Kirk for being so open to debate, for being such an incredible organizer. Like, I think as someone who's interested in political organization, that's something I've always found really admirable about him. But like, he's about my age. He's got a 1-year-old boy. I've got a 1-year-old boy. I've got, we're about the same height. And like, I think about how that boy is not going to have any memories of his dad. And that to me is like that's everything. That's
They don't understand that outside of the TikToks and Instagram reels that they see of him disagreeing with what they believe is a father of 2 kids and a son of a mother, that their kids are going to bed tonight. His kids are going to bed tonight without a father, and his wife is going to bed without a husband.
Yeah.
And that to me is just, it's sickening. It's sickening to see that this is really what it's come to, and people really think that like this is what they have to do to get a point across.
Additionally, I mean, the conditions that created Charlie Kirk's views are still existent.
Yeah.
The undercurrents that led to all of the opinions you disagree with and that the left disagrees with. It's you can eliminate Charlie Kirk, but it doesn't take away the rhetoric that led to Charlie Kirk.
I think that's what's so irritating about this. Like, on the one hand, this is evil, this is tragic, this shouldn't have happened. On the secondary hand, if you're not even convinced by that first argument, it's also counterproductive. That doesn't even do anything. He's a conservative commentator. He doesn't even have, like, Trump has been given every opportunity right now to crack down on the violent left.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
And that, like, my whole point about making a video about how nonviolent we are only can exist if we stay nonviolent. It just doesn't solve anything either. Like, I don't understand how you walk away from that. Like, what did you solve at all? Everyone is now more angry and justified in their anger, or at least more so than before. And I just, I don't know. I get so angry at these wannabe activists, these assholes, these disturbing, evil. I don't know.
I think that one of the key words is antisocial.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not saying that, I grew up around a bunch of violence, but I've seen shootings before.
Yeah.
I've lost people to gun violence, whether it be in the street or from police, a few people in high school and past that. So to me, it's something horrible, universally should be recognized as a bad thing. But there's this weird kind of antisocial undercurrent that I think is running through like early Gen Z, like 18 to 22. I'm not sure if it was because they were socialized during COVID and they missed like a bunch of formative years, but the things that they're tweeting about the situation and just their dissociation to like the horrific violent imagery, to be able to watch something like that and be like, hell yeah, that's dope. That indicates some kind of antisocial, psychotic, sociopathic disorder to me.
Sure. And like, whatever.
Yeah, and it is very scary to think about how in COVID, during those years with some of these kids that were younger and locked down, they had to go through like getting some of their formative years fucked up and not having any interactions and having their mental state messed up. I mean, look how many people committed self-deletion. I mean, very freaky times.
When your belief basically ostracizes anyone who disagrees with you and you have no one left standing, it makes sense that you don't have a lot of connection, so maybe you lose that human value. I don't know if that makes sense.
Say it one more time.
Like, I think it's become very common now to cut off your parents or cut off your siblings if they say maybe the wrong thing or sort of come across things a little different. And, you cut these people off and then you go, you're left standing and you're an island. It makes sense that you're like, well, what is a father really?
And you guys are all like 18 to 22 range, right? Yeah. Is he a pretty popular figure among your guys' demographic?
Yeah, I mean, if you go on, especially TikTok, he's everywhere. So, even though it's someone I've never met, it's someone who I feel like I've been almost consuming his content for a long time. And so it's a familiar face that we're losing, and he's someone that shares a lot of the same values that we share, religiously and politically in a lot of ways. And so he was very devoted, and you have to appreciate devotion because he was trying to build a better society for his family, his young family. And at the end of the day, people can have their opinions, and people do. There's extremists on both sides. But this is really an opportunity for everyone to kind of mend and realize what happened and mourn before we go on, and take a moment to realize what has happened and what we can do to prevent just certain things like this in the future. I mean,
It does sometimes feel like I am one of the few, definitely not the only, but certainly maybe a minority of the left that really cares still about life or family or America. I don't know.
No, that's a good point you made. Like, these political divisions have infected people's family dynamics, and it's become more important than those bonds. So you hear it all the time, especially if you're in like a hipster neighborhood. You hear someone be like, "Oh, my dad voted for Trump. He's such a piece of shit. I can't wait to chew him out at Thanksgiving," if they're even going. Whereas, it's not saying you shouldn't have a political discussion with your
like I'm honestly
uncle.
all for chewing out your dad if you disagree. Like, I don't know.
Chew out your dad, but don't abandon your dad.
Yeah.
Especially if your dad's in like a Facebook QAnon hole. Try to figure out how he got there.
No, for sure.
And maybe if you can, give him enough love where you can pull him out.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I do maybe genuinely feel, and like, whatever, conversation isn't everything, right? There's a lot more that comes to politics than just conversation. But like, Charlie was certainly onto something there, that like, conversation does fuel quite a bit of, fuels something that I think we've, I don't know, maybe discarded.
Do you think this is a legitimate turning point for discourse in America, or do you think this is something that's just going to be remembered more as like an individual tragedy?
I really feel like it could go either way. I feel like if we're lucky, we can just kind of memorialize it and move on and be better from it. But I definitely have a pretty sick feeling that there's a lot of bad repercussions that are going to happen because of this.
Yeah, I think on both sides too. You make a martyr of somebody, I mean, people will do a lot to avenge them.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially the entire Republican side is, of course, not happy, and nobody should be happy. And the people that are have something wrong with them. Yeah. Really.
Motherfucking animals! You liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals! You are so hateful in your hearts.
Worst things have happened to people. And, when you've turned a blind eye, you want us to erase the Confederacy, you want us to erase all these different things, but why should I have more sympathy for something that you clearly, you don't know pain, really. This is the worst thing you could think of. You don't understand what other people have gone through.
Do you think this could be a powder keg moment that starts like an internal major civil dispute between right and left?
Probably nothing more than what we've seen since 2020.
Same shit.
Yeah, same shit, different story. I mean, I don't think anything like, we had the George Floyd, we had the January 6th. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anything more than that yet. Here's the only time we're going to have real civil disputes is when we are starving. Yeah. When we lose access to clean water, when we lose access to electricity, that's when things change. But right now...
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, bro. I mean, there's definitely still a lot of tension in there, and I feel like it's just getting worse when it comes down to the way things are being handled from Trump and a bunch of other people, and the way we're continuing to wake up and see things for how they are. I don't know. I think that the rope is definitely losing strands for sure.
Now we're comfortable, right? Yeah. And that's ultimately this is going to make people upset. Sure, it is going to create more tension between the left and the right. However, it's unfortunate that we even see in this two-party democratic system anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point about basic necessities being met. Like, people can talk a tough game about civil war, but until people are like can't go to 7-Eleven, they're not really going to kill anybody.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just not going to happen because like it basically has to get to the point where you have more to lose by not doing anything than doing something. Right. That's all. That's what it's going to take.
Do you think that events like this will make people more scared to interact with their political opposition in a public forum?
Sure. I mean, obviously, for sure. I was at the there was a protest well, there were two protests, one in Provo, one in Salt Lake. It was the No Kings protest. And I went, and my mom was so scared. She's like, "Do not go. Why are you doing this?" And I was like, I have people that I care about who are, undocumented. Like, this matters to me. And then there was a shooter at Salt Lake and someone got killed.
In the middle of a No Kings protest that brought thousands of demonstrators downtown. Sudden gunfire stunned everyone.
He fired several shots. The crowd dispersed. I got to cover.
And it's like, how can I really blame
In reality, I mean, can anyone in the chat tell me? Good question, I feel like. What do protests even do anymore? Like, what does going out and rallying even do anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I mean, yeah, we go out and rally. It makes news stories and it makes us think. But I mean, what is the end accomplishment? I know it's freedom, but I'm saying, what is the accomplishment? It makes me feel I'm validated, not alone. Valid. Okay. I understand that. But I'm saying, what is the accomplishment? Because our government ain't paying attention. I mean, we could protest forever outside, but if the government doesn't want to change it, they're not gonna. But I agree. I mean, it is a right to do, and it should be done. And I agree with protesting, but to an extent on which the protest is violent or not matters, or if it's, to the intensity. Like when we were watching the England protest, when there was like 1 million people outside, that was fucking wild to look at. Like really wild. And imagine if that turned into like a revolution where, remember when like all the streets of England were packed? And like, imagine if that all turned violent. Like, it's so scary to look at sometimes.
Mom, like I can't be frustrated at that inclination to be terrified to go outside, to have some sort of discourse. Like sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I know someone who's right near the person who got shot at Salt Lake. I was right near Charlie Kirk, and my high school alma mater, the one that my brother went to, got shot while he was there. Like, it is crazy how many events I'm a part of, and I don't think I'm necessarily an anomaly for that. And that's sort of the point of the video that I was trying to make, was that when you have 6,000 data points of of mass shootings that happen in America, you could pick anything that you want out of that. Like that's an overwhelming amount of constant shootings that occur over and over and over and over again. And it's horrific that I was trying to point that out, and Charlie died.
Did the gravity of that situation immediately sink in for you? That you were the last person to talk to him?
Took a while, for sure. I was driving away. My wife and
How do you laugh at that? That was crazy.
her sister and her mom were on campus, and they found us, and they drove away, and she turned to me and she said, you're gonna be on every news station in America tomorrow. And I was like,
dude, how are you laughing and smiling? I'm sorry, but that does not look good.
Like, I don't know if I realized it until right then that I was like, no, that was me. That was like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I'm like, dude, I read too many comments on some video about me that was like, dude, this guy's in on it. He was asking about shootings right when the shooting happened. Like, let's go get this guy.
I mean, every mass shooting or assassination is like a powder keg for conspiracy theories. Because everyone's paying attention. It's got all the elements that, there's an old Joseph Pulitzer quote that's, if it bleeds, it leads. And so everyone wants their own conspiracy. I've seen people blame every single type of person in the world for what happened.
Totally.
Let me tell you why I don't think it was a crazy leftist. Because there was hundreds of people there who had the same exact political views as Charlie Kirk, but they only killed one person. They only killed Charlie. If there was other people,
that is a good point.
Like, well, you see with like a lot of deranged, like these transgender shooters who've been going around, they kill as many people as physically possible. This guy, whoever he was, had the leverage, the vantage point to take out as many people as he could have. But no, he just took one person, it was one and done, and that was it. And that's why I don't believe it was someone who was a radical, like just a leftist radical acting upon his own. I think this is a professional job.
Yeah.
There is a tweet out there, I'm not sure who tweeted it, I could fact check it real quick, who's talking about the Israeli government killing Charlie Kirk because he was having some second thoughts or something like that. I think that is a possibility.
Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Along with Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson changing their views on Israel. However, Charlie Kirk received quite a bit of money from AIPAC to support Israeli interests in the United States.
I've been to Israel twice. I love Israel. I love Israel, the place. I love Israel as it protects access to biblical archaeology.
So hopefully, and it's not a good thing he's dead. I'm not going to say that, but hopefully he died because he came to his senses and did the right thing and put America's interest above Israel's, not the other way around.
What was the security situation on the ground there?
Here's the thing. There was huge pros and cons. Huge pro, a lot of security guards. A lot that were directing me in specific places. But the con is it was fully open. Like anyone could wander in. And also there's rooftop access at UVU, which is like I don't know. I think that the shooter is suspected to be a sniper on one of the roofs. For some reason, this makes people think that I'm in on it, that I was a Mike or I was a I don't even know what a mic is. I learned that term two hours ago.
What is it?
I don't know.
A
I think
mic?
it's like
Is it like this?
He slipped. I remember seeing this clip of someone going over him, and he accidentally slipped and brought up that he could have been a mic. But then he automatically backtracked and said, well, I don't know what a mic is.
This makes people think that I'm in on it, that I was a Mike or I was a I don't even know what a mic is. I learned that term two hours ago.
What is it?
I don't know.
A
I think
mic?
it's like
People have been saying that about you, but you learned it 2 hours ago. Okay.
Is it like some sort of
I don't know. I kept
slur
saying
for liberal?
No. It was like I was shouting a call, and I said,
oh, like you had a code word?
Yeah, like I had a
Okay.
code word, and because I was talking about shooting, so they're like, that's
Like,
got to be
time to
it.
go.
And I also said I said great right after responding to him, and I think I don't even know why I said great. I think I was just like,
It's a high pressure situation.
yeah. Well, I was like, maybe it was just like, let me think about this for
It's
2
like
seconds.
being on stage during a talent show when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You
I'm
think you're gonna kill it, but you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
until you
yeah,
get up
yeah.
there.
And it's like I try to be prepared for sure, but it's like a stalling technique maybe, or
Yeah.
like I mean I knew what I was gonna say next. I was whatever.
How do you think we can prevent things like this in the future?
Well, first of all, I'd say that a very respected leader in our community said that conflict is inevitable, but contention is a choice. And we're helping ourselves when we choose to not be offended. So respectful and civil.
See, there's a difference between these guys talking about what's going on and how they feel versus the other guy talking. These guys are quiet, well-spoken, monotoned, trying to be respectful. The other guy's like laughing and doesn't seem phased to me. I mean, I don't know.
Dialogue in social, civic, and religious circles is not just going to help us from the outside in, but from the inside out.
What do you think could have been done to prevent this situation?
I don't know. Because I'm always so worried. I'm such a math nerd sometimes that I'm like, well, this was still a statistical outlier. Like, and maybe it was. Maybe I think everyone always has these answers, but it's also like we have the least amount of violence than we have ever had in the history of Earth right now. We are probably doing something right. 300 years ago, every country was at war constantly until like World War II, where we're like, let's freeze this. We got to just chill the fuck out and like whatever. It's not perfect by any means. There's absolutely more work we can be doing. But like everyone who has all these answers, I mean, Charlie's answer was like, let's bring back up mental asylums. I'm like, I don't know if that worked in the 1800s. Like, I think you're scrambling just as much as we are. Like, I'm not trying to pretend like I have these answers on how to fix all this. Maybe it is that there are insane people. There was the, I'm sure you know about the stabbing of, that Charlie was talking about a lot. That was his last tweet. It was the stabbing of someone on the
It was on the light rail in Charlotte.
Yeah.
That was very sad. Irina Zarutska, rest in peace. A bunch of beta males and cowards on that light rail with her too.
And they're like, dude, they should have locked him up. And then you look at his priors, he's like, okay, well, he was in jail for like 7 years. We've just like thrown away the key. Like some of these priors are like, he stole some things. Should we just lock him up then? How do we prepare? Like, I don't know if the answer is we should just be okay with knowing that there are completely antisocial people who walk amongst us and might lash out at any moment. But I don't know what we should be doing about that. And I haven't seen a compelling answer.
I mean, one thing that I've heard is like more readily available psychiatric services.
Sure.
Gun reform.
Sure.
Mass
of course.
buybacks.
Yeah. I'm in favor of all of those things.
No,
but
no, I'm not. No gun reform. I mean, yeah, make it so not everybody can get a gun, but dude, like the Sydney, Australia place, when that beach shooting happened, if there was a person there that had a gun that could have went and shot back at them until the police got there, or like at least help protect his fellow citizens, it would have been different. I feel like there are more benefits to having a country that has better gun laws than not. Like, you know, like if there was people shooting outside my door right now, so many of me and my neighbors would be going outside to go figure out how we're going to take care of it, you know?
Also, like, I also know in my ideal world where I have all of the policies, I'm sure that a stabbing could happen. Like maybe that's just the world that we have to live in, but also that seems like an extremely, that doesn't sound like the right answer either.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I get frustrated with the sin of certainty.
As in like, I have the solution. If we do this, things like this won't happen again.
I watched it like in a movie recently. I just really like that term, the sin of certainty. Like
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was Conclave. It was a pretty good movie.
Oh,
I like that. yeah, I really, I don't know. And like, whatever. I respect a lot of Charlie. I'm so sad. He was a very certain person. And I disagreed with that. I think that we can move forward a little bit more uncertain.
I think we should have less gun laws, not more. I know people disagree with this. I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh. It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised. By the way, you could fund the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of his enemies, his political opponents, instantly spun it into
That was crazy.
an issue of gun reform, which I think in theory sounds cool. But I mean, we have 380 million Americans. I think we have more than 400 million guns already in civilian hands. So this whole idea of even reforming that, guns are here to stay. And there's counties and states that are always going to have guns available at gun shows and at pawn shops and gas stations and Walmarts and flea markets. And that's just the truth. And you can't walk back something that's so deeply embedded into our culture.
Right.
So that's a very sin of certainty thing where it's like, oh, there's a big shooting, gun reform. Let's advocate for it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
The guns are already here.
Right.
You can
and it's like, as much as I love to talk about mandatory buybacks, I think that sounds really good and it works for a lot of countries. But also, it's like, dude, have you met some of these Americans? Like, you are asking for a Waco, Texas in every county in America.
Totally.
Like,
see, with our ARs, we're citizens. Without them, we'll be slaves. They're not assault weapons. They're sporting weapons. It's necessary to protect my family from tyrannical government.
Why do you think there are so many mass shootings?
Because that's what's on the agenda for the left.
I don't know. Not like I have a better answer, right? Like, I do think that having more guns than Americans in America is probably we're going to be a little bit more prone to gun violence and mass shootings. And that's terrifying. But also, I don't know what the answer is. And like, I think that people just have these easy answers without thinking of the like larger implication. Like, for example, someone said recently, like, I was talking to this guy, this really good friend of mine. I don't want to shit talk him too hard, but he was like, yeah, the answer is pretty simple. Just like, don't give guns to mentally unwell people. And I'm like, okay, gotcha. If someone has a gun, then they're not going to seek psychiatric help. Because the moment they get diagnosed with anything, they'll take away their guns. So you are discouraging people from seeking help. And he was like, well, that's not what I meant. I'm like, I know that's not what you meant, right? Like, I get that. But also, these things are hard. And I don't know what the answer is very often.
There's a big problem too where everybody wants to be right, especially when you have reactionaries and commentators and ideologues with their own social media platforms, and so they're rushing to have the hottest take.
Sure.
And I saw it in a little micro way, like whenever I dropped the Hunter Biden interview, it was just like conservative media, including Charlie Kirk and the president of El Salvador and Bill O'Reilly and all these people that seemed like larger than life to me at the time, were moving in lockstep. Like, one person sets the narrative, like, he's using the F word a bunch and he's talking about crack, and they all follow that thing.
Totally.
And I saw it happen so fast with Charlie, and it just felt so selfish to me as a news consumer. I'm just like, why is everyone rushing to like announce this as fast as possible and figure out how to make this situation serve their agenda? I took a great course in college called The Sociology of Disaster. And a similar thing happens during natural disasters. Katrina, Hurricane Helene, when something bad happens, different political agendas latch on to certain details of it, and they use it to run their own little mini news cycle. And I feel like you'll kind of be able to cut through that for people because you're just a guy who was there.
True.
And so, are you doing okay?
I don't know.
Holy shit. I'm sorry, but when I first watched this before, I don't know how I didn't feel the way I feel now. Like, watching this guy over is just so, like, this did not age well for him. Listen to when he asks, is he okay? He just starts laughing.
You'll kind of be able to cut through that for people because you're just a guy who was there.
True.
And so, are you doing okay?
I don't know. I remember thinking walking away from that, like, dude, that's a memory that I'm never going to forget.
Welcome in,
that
Miss
happened
Hansen.
10 seconds ago. Like, I remember thinking that walking away. I'm like, that's a thing that I cannot forget. And it's a very weirdly like prescient thing to be thinking about as I'm trying to find my wife in the crowd of people. But like, I was thinking that. It was hard. Like, I was definitely trying to, like, I was keeping it in, and we got a call from the hospital that we had to go see my daughter like 2 seconds after we were sitting in traffic as everyone was piled in. It's like, oh, now we got to go to the hospital. And I get there and I misread the charts and I think that she's doing a lot more poorly than she is. And I'm like, I like break down in the hospital. I'm like, I don't think that I can handle today. Like, I feel like an emotionally put together person, but like, I don't think that this is a thing that anyone could do. And then the nurse was like, oh, that's not what that is. And I'm like, oh, okay, she's fine. I'm okay.
Holy shit, this guy is crazy.
But like, I definitely feel the preciousness of life today. Just like one person with a bad idea, and your existence is out. And that's a lot to feel, and I felt it particularly strongly today.
Do you think a lot of things that Charlie has said would have created the desire for someone to want to kill him?
Of course, I can understand being frustrated with Charlie Kirk. I am all the time. I think that he spread harmful rhetoric. And I don't know if I'm going to shy away from that. My record is pretty clear on that. Yeah. But I do believe in the same things that he believed in a very narrow context, which is, I think that having conversations is the best path forward. Genuinely, I don't know why we gave up on this idea. I think people notice that debates, they're not just going to change their mind as soon as the debate ends. I'm like, okay, but I do believe 1,000 straws on a camel's back. At some point, if they hear enough conversations and things that influence them, they will get pulled in a direction. I used to be extremely conservative.
For real?
Yeah. I grew up Mormon. I grew up in I didn't grow up in Utah. I grew up in California actually. Grew up in LA, but I moved here because I wanted to go to BYU. I really believed in the Mormon Church, and then I just kind of strayed away from it. But I was hardcore Romney fan.
Oh, because he's a Mormon.
Yes,
and
dude,
he's chill kind of.
There's a loyal following here, and I was for sure part of that. And then I was like, let me see if there's any other ideas. And I was like, and I saw this article that was like a response to Ben Shapiro's attacks on transgender people, and it was like here, whatever, it detailed a lot of these thoughts. I'm like, I didn't know that. I genuinely thought they looked down and they went, oh, that's not a penis, that's a vagina. And then had that psychosis in their head and then move forward with their lives. And that's genuinely what I thought. I'm like, well, if that's the case, these people are psychotic and maybe they should be in mental hospitals. And then I was like, oh, that's actually not how they interact with the world at all. They're actually pretty coherent thoughts and make a lot of sense. And I just needed to hear their perspective. And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's confusing for me, maybe, but way more reasonable than I thought it would be. And I don't know, I definitely, I remember a lot of those trickle points where I started shifting more left. And I do believe that people can go on the same journey that I went on. And Charlie did too, just in the opposite direction. And I respect the hell out of him for that, for really, that was his goal.
Yeah, I kind of always thought it's good to have conversations, but for some of that college campus content, I feel like they were just pulling up to
I hear that.
dunk on a bunch of kids.
I'm not trying to disagree with that.
This guy had their first social justice theory class,
exactly,
so he can be like,
I 100% hear you. And
how much fentanyl was in George Floyd's blood when he died?
100%. And yes, there is for sure. I was very critical of the fact that he would just debate college kids who were freshmen and 19. Come on, there are better, competent things out here. I don't know if I told you this. I was booked.
I do hate when people bring up that argument of, well, you were debating college kids and blah, blah. Yeah, but you're at college. You are at college. You should at least have some knowledge in some of the things you're trying to debate on, or you have access to that. But I feel like debating at colleges is a good thing to do, because then you are giving young people a way to have discourse, think about things they're saying, and think about things that they believe in, and you're giving them an opportunity to be able to have more dialogue and complex discourse, to be able to conduct themselves better when they get older. I think it's a very good idea to have people debating in colleges like Charlie was, or like Myron does. Yeah, do they dunk on him too bad sometimes? Yes, but it's a very good learning experience, especially for these college kids and otherwise who probably wouldn't do this. A lot of college kids don't think about debating or doing any of these things. But when they do these things, I feel like it's an overall benefit and net good for them.
To be on Jubilee to debate him, Charlie Kirk, in 2 weeks from today. And I want to make sure that it's clear that I disagree with him, but also, holy shit, that's a person. And I don't know,
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think that this came across pretty clear.
Okay.
It's a bummer you didn't get to do Jubilee. I just did 20v1.
You were the one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was me versus 20 conspiracy theorists, and I don't know if they thought I don't know if it's going to come out, because I think they thought I was some kind of misinformation watchdog. So they got me with all these alien conspiracy theorists. I was like, sounds tight. And they pulled me aside and they were like, you need to push back. I was like, why?
It's so not you.
Yeah. They're like, can you just offer some counterpoints? I'm like, bro, I want the earth to be flat. It sounds better. That means God's real. There's a firmament. So I really don't think it's ever going to come out,
That's
dude.
so
I was
funny.
just vibing with everyone. By the end, I
Wait,
was
is
like
this pretty
talking to
recent?
everybody. It was like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how long their editing process is, but they were pissed at me by the end.
It's so funny. I had some people. Yeah, I knew some. Yeah, it was about a month. Well,
Yeah.
I think I knew someone who was on Jubilee, and they were saying that like they got emails about when it would come out, and if you haven't gotten that, it's probably not coming out soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, dude. Well,
We'll find out.
I think you did a great job, man. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to God and shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for the interview. Appreciate you guys for your time.
All right, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I watched that back because it definitely makes the guy look worse. And then the fact that we found out that the same guy who was controlling his mic was the same guy who stopped that kid from saying what he saw in the college. So a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. And then I also feel like, yeah, I feel like Candace Owens is going to backtrack for some reason. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what she says today. Other than that, I mean, I guess we'll see if she still continues to be, you know, pushing forward on her investigation like she was, or if, you know, I guess time will tell if Erika really did kind of silence her in a way. But I'm going to get off, guys. I'm going to go to the gym here shortly. I hope everybody has a good day. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow I'll be on a bit longer, but today I do want to go to the gym. I'm kind of recovering from my back injection, so I want to see if I can't go get a good workout in and, you know, continue this to get back on the grind like I have been. So I appreciate everybody for being in here, and I appreciate everybody for continuing to support me. Thank you to Matt for the dono through Cash App, and then thank you to Captain Leon for the $5 or £5 donation as well. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. God bless you guys. Continue to support the channel by hitting like, subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so we're going to be there soon. Hopefully by the end of the month we hit 10K. I hope everybody has a good holiday, or I hope everybody's having a good time up to the holidays. Again, I will be back on throughout the week. Throughout the Christmas break, it'll be spotty because my kids don't have school, but I'll definitely make it work. So we will be on and we will be active, and we're going to continue to run it up and continue to grow the family because I will always stand by it. I say it every day. I have the best community on YouTube. I have one of the most fastest, most positive growing communities on YouTube, and I will stand by that. You guys are the best. Thank you, Jesus Really Saves. I appreciate you. God bless you for the subscription. Thank you, Stacy. See you later. Thank you for being in here. I hope you stay safe and stay educated and stay up to date with everything I do because, you know, I'm the best. No, I'm kidding. But everybody stay safe, stay educated, and stay aware because I feel like these times are more telling than ever that we need to just stay aware and keep our eyes open because, you know, I feel like especially us growing the community on here like we are, I feel like I am starting to trust what we do more than other people because I feel like a lot of people are being compromised and a lot of efforts are being made right now to shift our attentions elsewhere. So we are going to, you know, do our best to pay attention to what they're doing so we can thwart their bullshit. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you guys. God bless you too, man. God bless Skippy. God bless Stacy. God bless Spicy. Or Pumpkin, I should say. Pumpkin sounds better. But yeah, God bless you guys. Thank you for being